Ooh. Alright. Sorry for the wait there. I know I got a late start today. I was having some technical difficulties for some reason. My stream was bugging out and it wouldn't work. It wasn't starting. It just kept saying like, oh, like it had me on like the waiting screen like it was gonna premiere or something, but it wouldn't do anything. Like it was saying like, oh, it's gonna premiere at 9 o'clock, but it was already like 9:05 or something. How's it going, everyone who's here so far? Hope y'all are doing good. What's up, average enjoyer? How you doing, man? How you feeling? Let me know if the audio is okay too. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Sweet. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to clean my glasses real quick before I do this. Alright. Glad to hear you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good so far. Sweet. Audio sounds good. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not too loud or too low or something, but sweet. I'm glad everything's sounding okay. Ooh. Alright. Well, we'll jump into the reading in just a second. I'm gonna open this up because I wanted to do this today too. So I know before in the volume 9 live stream that I did before, I did like some card pack unboxing or some card pack openings or whatever for my other pack that I had, but it was for the Dreaming Girl. Like I didn't realize when I bought that like box or whatever that I had that it was specifically Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl like card packs. I thought it was just, I don't know, the Rascal Does Not Dream series in general. So I was like, oh damn, so if this is specifically just the Dreaming Girl cards, like they must have a Bunny Girl Senpai specific one too. And I found it and I ended up getting it. So I was like, cool, I can open these up. So there's probably a lot more like variety of different types of cards and stuff, different character pictures and stuff like that in this one than there are in the Dreaming Girl movie, because, you know, it was only pictures and stuff from that movie. So yeah, I was gonna open this up and take a peek, open up a couple before we do start the stream, and then maybe a couple after we're done with the reading, after at some point. Yeah, let me open this thing up. Okay. Sweet. There we go. Alright, sweet. So there's 20 packs in this thing, so not a bad amount. I think the other one I had was a pretty big box too. I still haven't opened all of those. I think that one was like 18 or something like that. But this is what it looks like, at least the pack itself here. If you want to see the box, I'll show you right now too. It looks like this. So these are all of them. Hold on, let me change my view real quick. Okay, there we go. So that's a little better. So you can see me a little bit more, so I can show these a little bit better. So this is what that looks like, the box on the side, and then just the card packs themselves in this thing too. And then this is just the pack too on that side. Wait, there we go. That looks a little better. Wait, yeah, that's how they kind of look like there. But I'll open up this first one that I got. Let's see what I get. Ooh, the Weiss Shores. Alright, let's see. Alright, so first one I got is Futaba, so Rio Futaba. I want to take a peek at this one. So this one just says back from shopping. Okay, I was about to say, I think this is different, but no, never mind. because this one doesn't have like much description on it. It's just like strictly Rio Futaba, like back from shopping Rio Futaba. But then this one here that I got, this is like a Shoko Maki no Hara one. This one actually has like description of, I guess, the effects of the card and stuff. So it says, memories that remain Shoko Maki no Hara. If her feelings weren't reaching you, then I feel sorry for her. If you have, and then here's like the details of, I guess, what it does. So it says, like continuous. If you have 4 or more adolescence characters, this card gets -1 level while in your hand. Auto, it's like a combo or whatever. When amongst the pain, and the rain is placed in your climax area. If this card is on your center stage, put up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your stock. So just a bunch of, I guess, the trading card game rule specific kind of things. I'm not going to read the descriptions for every single one, but yeah, it still trips me out that there are even cards for the series in general, but still pretty cool, I guess, at least for collectible purposes for me. I'm not like gonna seek out trying to learn the game and things like that, but I like to have these just for keepsake, I guess. So there's a cute little Mai Sakurajima one. Here's another Shoko Maki no Hara one here too. Hopefully you can see that. So it's unconditional support Shoko Maki no Hara. And then here's, we got a Nadaka. And I got a Koga one too next. I got a cute Rio Futaba one. Let's go. That one looks nice. It's a little holographic, little shiny one. Okay, so this is the Koga one, Laplace's Demon Tomoe Koga. And then here is that Rio Futaba one that I got. So it says, cool and collected Rio Futaba. I hear you're head over heels for Sakurajima Senpai lately. Yeah, this one looks really cute. This one's nice. It's that like sparkly one, kind of holographic, whatever. So that one's nice. And then here is another Rio Futaba one. So Adolescence Paradox. So it's the one with her when they're at the beach with Kunimi and Sakuta, and they're just having a fun time with the other Rio Futaba that was there while going through her adolescent syndrome arc stuff. But yeah, that's the first card pack opening that I got, and I feel like I got like most of the characters. The only one that I didn't get was Sakuta, or at least out of the main characters was Sakuta and Kaide, I think. Yeah, out of the main few. So I got that one out of the way. Let me open up a second one here. Let's see if I get anything else nice. Let's see. Hopefully something good. I'm terrified that I'm gonna like rip one of these cards as I'm trying to open up this pack by accident. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, so first one I got is a Nadaka one. So someone you know, Secret of Lost Memories, Nadaka Toyohama. So you got Toyohama there. And then we got a Sakuta one. So Lost, Sakuta Asasagawa. Is it okay to live my life like you do? So this is the one when I believe like he first met, or like around the time when he kind of first met Shoko Maki no Hara, and he was talking to her, and she was giving him a bunch of advice and just making him kind of feel better and stuff. So that's a nice one. And then we got this one for Rio Futaba, another one. I feel like we got a lot of her already, like 4. Like 3 in that previous pack. So this one is Protective Shadow Rio Futaba. I am cheering for him. So this is her when I believe she was like watching Kunimi play basketball and stuff when they had the 2 Rio Futabas at that one point. So that one's nice. Then we got a Kaide, so confidence to face tomorrow, Kaide Asasagawa. It says now there's a feeling that it can be accomplished. This is one of, I'm pretty sure, Panda Kaide, while she was like putting on her uniform and taking steps forward and stuff, going to school, things like that. All right, feelings that bind. So this is a pretty nice one. This is the one with Sakuta where he remembers, I believe he remembers Mai Sakurajima stuff that she was teaching him, like the word differences and stuff like that. So it says Mai, now which Hoshu is the one for nobody is here to guarantee a future for Sakuta. So yeah, this is that real sad moment where he sad but happy moment, I guess, where he remembers Mai Sakurajima even though he like forgot about her existence and stuff along with everybody else. And corrupt gaze, Tomoe Koga. You have a lewd look in your eyes. So, of course, talking to Sakata as she usually does. And then we got a Mai Sakurajima, Irreplaceable Existence Mai Sakurajima. This one's kind of sparkly, but it's like barely noticeable, kind of. Yeah, like only if you turn it in certain ways you can see the sparkles really. It says, I'll be scolded right there next to you. Yeah, that one is a apparent like holographic or I don't know, just like sparkly one that we got a shiny version, but you can't really see it too much. Maybe you can if I like tilt it a little, like when I did right now. But yeah, that one's pretty nice. Beautiful Mai Sakurajima. Then we got a sparkling stage. So this is Nadaka when she's in her Sweet Bullet group performing. That one's pretty cool. So yeah, some nice ones so far. Not a ton of like amazing picture ones, but still some nice cute ones that we've gotten. Some nice ones so far. The best one I'd say that we've gotten so far would be probably the Ryo Futaba one. That one's nice. That pink sparkly one that we got. And then the next one I'd say, let me see. Let's hope this one we get something nice. Hopefully this one we get a little bit of a better one. Ooh. Okay. So I see we got a Sakata right off the bat. Alright. So let's see. So Sakata, Awkward Kindness, Sakata Azasagawa. I could fill myself up 3 times over with the sound of the shower alone. So that one's nice. Let me see. Okay. Then we got a Mai Sakurajima on set. Mai Sakurajima, why are you here, Sakata? Oh yeah. This is the one when he like chased after her because it was her birthday. I think they were like upset at each other at that one point or something like that. But yeah, this is a pretty cute one here too. Then we got another Sakata. So you're a high school girl who fights for justice, right? Parting in the Rain, Sakata Azasagawa. This is a pretty good one too. Want more Sakata ones. There's so many ones of the other girls and stuff, but I want more Sakata ones too. He's probably my favorite, one of my 2 favorite characters in the show. Alright, Big Brother, this is delicious. Fluffy breakfast, Kaide Asasagawa. Hold on, where is that at? This is another one of Kaide. That one's nice. And then we got Mai, don't look through so Mai saying this, don't look through people's treasures without permission. Secret treasure. So I can't remember where that's from. I think it might have been during the Nadaka arc, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think that's where that's from though. And then we got Senpai. Sudden reunion, Tomoe Koga. Oh, okay, so this is when they first find out that Koga is working with Sakata. And then we got this one. Ooh, wait. I think this is that holographic? No, it's not. Never mind. Alright, so, but I'm not her real little sister. Pent Up Feelings, Nadaka Toyohama. So this is Nadaka when she was body swapped with Mai Sakurajima. And then we got this other one. Oh yeah, apparently there is a card game. I didn't know until I picked up some of the Dreaming Girl ones when I did the Volume 9 stream. Yeah, I ended up picking them up at some point, and I thought they were just random cards, like, I don't know, just pictures and that's it, really, kind of. But yeah, there's a whole card game and rule set and everything for them, if you didn't know. Alright, so this one says, did you know? Just kind of like what we were saying. Blue filled vision. So this is a Shoko Makino Hara one. Alright, so hopefully you can see that. And that's all we got out of that one. So that one we didn't get a ton out of 2, but I'm gonna open one last one before I end up jumping into the reading. Yeah, hopefully we get something good off of this last pack here. Hoping. Come on. At the heart of the cards. Channeling my inner Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the cards. Come on. Alright, so we got a cute Mai Sakurajima one right off the bat. So Secret of Lost Memories, Mai Sakurajima. What's going on? So this one here. This is a nice one. So Mai Sakurajima. Then we got 2 of myself, Ryo Futaba. This one's okay too. This one's pretty nice. So there are 2 of me. If your stock has 2 or less cards, this card cannot attack. This is a little Ryo Futaba one here. I think this is the one when she was like staying at Sakata's house or something like that. I recognize the shirt that she has, I think. And then here is a Kaide Asasagawa one. So courage to move on, Kaide Asasagawa. Big brother, this is... Oh, okay, this is that really sad scene where she goes outside for like the first time in forever, and she like doesn't even realize she's outside yet, and she starts freaking out and stuff, or she starts like kind of like breaking down and stuff. Yeah, that first step forward that she really had to going outside again. Then we had the Sure I Will, Mai Sakurajima, emotions escalating quickly, Mai Sakurajima. So just her blushing when her and Sakata were talking before at one point. Come on, I gotta get like a really good one. Come on, I'm hoping I get a good one out of this. So we got 2 Toyohama ones from what I can see right now. So this one says, I really am sorry, self-loathing Nadaka Toyohama. So I can't remember what scene this one was really from, but yeah, it's a Nadaka one. And then we got the other Nadaka one. It says, I'm going to live here too. Yeah, Runaway Nadaka Toyohama. So when she ends up leaving, I remember her and her mom had a good moment or whatever, and then that was very short-lived, and she ended up just taking off and moving in with Mai Sakurajima. And here is, ooh, this one's a good one. So we got a good Shokomaki no Hara one. So it says, right, I'm only a child. So wholesome middle school student, Shokomaki no Hara. So this is a cute one here. Yeah, it's a holographic kind of like little shiny one too. Yeah, so this one looks kind of nice. So this one wasn't like super empty. Yeah, so this one looks good. I'm like tilting it here all awkwardly because hopefully that'll let it kind of shine and you can see the shiny part of it. And then we got the last one here. So Sister Panic. Mai says, then from now on, make her happy with something you choose for yourself, Nadaka. Okay. Oh yeah, so this is like the conclusion of Nadaka's arc, pretty much, when her and Mai made up, really. So good moment to kind of end things off on for this like beginning kind of card pack opening. So we opened up 4, and we didn't get a. I mean, we got a couple good ones, but nothing like super crazy. Nothing crazy. Hopefully we get a really, really good one, maybe later at some point. Yo, what's up, Braun? How you doing? Hope you're doing good. It's Friday. Alright, I'm going to put these over here off to the side for a sec. Yeah, the little Shoko one was nice. Yeah, so I think I got like 3 holographic or like shiny ones. I got the Rio Futaba one. I'm not sure if you saw the Rio Futaba one. That one was a nice one. I'll pick it up real quick and show it just so you could see. Yeah, here's the Rio Futaba one. This one was nice because it's like not from like a particular scene in the anime. It's just like it's standalone, like nice little card with a little background on it. That one, yeah, this one's probably my favorite that we got out of them. Cool. All right. Yeah. Good Friday. Feeling good. All right. But yeah, we can get the reading started here right now. Let me just switch my cam real quick so you can see more of the text. All right, and I gotta move some of these wrappers all out of the way. I'm getting all messy here. I need a trash can in my room so I can throw all this stuff away, like right next to myself. All right, cool. So we can jump right into it. Yeah, the standalone one's really nice. I wish there was more of those in those card packs. Yeah, because most of them are just like different scenes and stuff from the anime and everything, which are nice, but like more like shiny versions like that Rio Futaba one would be really cool. All right, but we'll start on it now. So we're just hopping into, I believe we're in chapter 3, part 3 of the light novel right now. 65% of the way through. Gonna try, or no, we're not gonna try. We're gonna finish it today. Yeah, I don't want to stop at like 80% or like, you know, only get like 15% the way through or whatever. Only read a tiny. We're finishing it tonight. So I know, right? Yeah, I really need one. But yeah, we're finishing it tonight, hoping that it's really good. I mean, so far so good from the read-throughs that we've gone through before. Everything's been pretty nice. I've enjoyed it a lot. A little bit of a different kind of feel to it because they're older and there's some new characters around and stuff, and we're seeing a lot more of Uzuki Hirokawa now. But yeah, like it's been really good so far. I'm hoping that the conclusion to this is worth it. All right, so part 3, an hour and a half after they got off the train at oh yeah. So last part where we left off is where Uzuki was going on the train, or going on, yeah, I believe going on the train or something like that, and Sakata followed her to kind of see what was going on, see if she's okay. And she ended up like going like the distance to like the furthest place where the train ended up stopping or something, and then they ended up getting off. But now they're having lunch. All right. So an hour and a half after they got off the train at Misakiguchi, Sakata somehow found himself following Uzuki's butt around, a well-toned butt hugged by the elasticity of her skinny slacks. More accurately, her butt was on a bike. She was pedaling, and he was following on a bike of his own. They'd been at this for an hour now. Damn, they're bike riding right now? Okay. So how had things gone so wrong? Everything had been reasonable when they left the station. They'd found a roundabout outside backed by skies of that autumn blue, no tall buildings anywhere, so it felt wide open. They found a view, so it felt wide open, a view that promised a relaxing escape from the daily grind. The tuna they were after didn't take long to locate. There were flags fluttering across the roundabout with Maguro written on them, the sort of shop that served meals by day and booze at night. It was small but comfy. Sakata and Uzuki ordered the tricolor tuna bowl, akami from a big eye tuna, otoro from southern bluefin, and Pacific bluefin, negitoro. Everything was heaped on the top of rice, all fancy like. It came with miso and a side of 1,300 yen. It came with miso and a side for 1,300 yen, a real bargain. And with Misaki Harbor close by, it was as fresh as it was affordable. That's super crazy. Yeah, there's like, since it's Japan's like surrounded by the sea or whatever, by the ocean, and they could just, fish there and just catch something that morning and then just make it, or just catch it like and then pretty soon just make it for you right there. So it's like super, super fresh. I'm personally not a big fan of seafood, but yeah, I think that for seafood lovers out there, that I could only imagine how great the seafood is in Japan, because they freshly catch them and then make them for you right there. It's really cool. All right. Personally, Sakata would have been satisfied pigging out and going home. Sadly, Uzuki was still searching for herself and didn't find it in the tuna bowl. They settled the bill and went outside. Now what? He figured she didn't exactly have a plan, so he wasn't expecting much of an answer. Let's rent some bicycles, Uzuki cried. Where at? The tourism guide booth by the station exit. She kept her eyes peeled while he'd been gaping at the skies. They headed back across the street, and there was a bike rental sign on the door of the tourism counter. You can't find yourself without a bicycle. I don't think they're usually rented. She paid this advice no heed, opening the door and calling out, "Excuse me." The clerk inside was super nice and walked them through the paperwork, even recommending a good route to take. They got a map of bike paths in the Miura Peninsula area. Since then, they've been pedaling around for half an hour now, possibly a full hour. At first, there'd been no cars around, plus homes and warehouses dotting the landscape. Now there were fields to the left, to the right, and dead ahead. No people anywhere. Aside from the occasional farmer tolling in the fields, they didn't see a soul. What leaves are those? Uzuki asked. Daikon, Miura daikon. They were still growing, so only the green leaves were sticking out of the soil. If you looked close, you could see the bulbous white top of the root. You know so much. We took a field trip to a daikon field in grade school. He had not expected to avail himself of that education here. Suzuki. What? How far are we going? Don't know. She sure sounded carefree. Which way are we going? The sea. Simple enough. What happened to the map? The guide said not to look while we're riding. True. Nothing he said was getting through, but today Uzuki felt more like the one he knew, and that was oddly comforting. And even if they did get lost, her phone had GPS and they could find their way back. They'd come a long way since he was a bit concerned about their energy reserves, but these bikes were actually pedelecs, so going uphill was not that bad. Quite breezy, actually. Oh, quite breezy, really. This feels great, Uzuki cried. She had a point. Their impromptu bike tour of Miura Peninsula was surprisingly enjoyable. The breeze was pleasant, the skies were clear, and the air was the right kind of dry. And they had the road through the daikon fields all to themselves. Nadaka, right? What about Toyohama? Not her, the meaning of her name, Tranquil. Uzuki let out a peal of laughter. The autumn wind carried it to him. I've been wondering, why did you pick this major, Uzuki? He'd been wanting to ask that for a while now, but never quite got the right opportunity. There had been plenty of options. She could have joined Nautica over in the international liberal arts, or maybe made like Miori and majored in international management. Why'd you go with the statistical science, Sakata? She turned the question back on him. Seemed like the least competitive division. Then I'll go with that too. Come on. You lied, so I'm not telling. She laughed out loud again. Her general demeanor and enthusiasm were definitely the old Uzuki, but she was still reading him loud and clear. She knew exactly how he felt and what lay behind his words. I wasn't lying, but it's not the truth either. She had him there. Oh, the sea. She waved excitedly, one hand off the handlebars, pointing ahead. Careful, eyes front, he said. Uzuki slowed to a stop. They'd crested a long, gentle slope. Sakata pulled up alongside her and put his stand down. Let's take a break, Uzuki said, stretching. Her back had been bolt upright the whole ride, so she must have been feeling pretty stiff. She ran through a number of stretches, clearly ones she did all the time. When she touched her toes, her forehead tapped her knees. Then she twisted hard, bent backwards, stretched her legs out to the side, and even pulled them up to her head. Since she was wearing skinny slacks, this left little to the imagination, but her figure was so relentlessly healthy, it didn't really prompt bad thoughts. And the view around them was hardly fitting for that kind of fantasizing. A college idol stretching against the sea, skies, and daikon fields, not a sight you saw every day. Sakata took a swig of tea from a bottle he'd bought from a vending machine along the way. He looked for a brand from one of my Sakurajima's commercials, but they hadn't had any. He'd been forced to compromise. Can I have a sip? It'll be an indirect smooch, he warned, handing the bottle over. She pulled her hands anyways. I'll stick to mine then. She'd bought some water at the same machine and took a few gulps from that. Oh, okay. So I've seen this picture before. So I assumed that was Uzuki, but I was wondering when I was going to actually see this. I had a feeling we were going to see it from kind of the context that we were getting of like, okay, them riding bikes and going to some like place in her stretching or whatever, because I remember the picture she was riding a bike. So I was like, oh, okay. We're probably getting to that point. But really, really pretty picture. Beautiful. Love it. Love Uzuki. Alright. So as he watched her, she asked, did Nautica put ideas in your head? She wasn't looking at him. He said, as if he had no idea what she meant. Uzuki smiled faintly, like she'd seen that answer coming. Her eyes locked on the road through the daikon fields to the sea beneath the distant skies. The wind brushed by. The daikon leaves shivered. Thin clouds trailed across the sky. A moment passed, almost without a sound. Sakata. He grunted mid-swig. How old do you think idols get? You'll manage it your whole life. He put the cap back on his bottle. I said that once, but not now? I don't know. She smiled faintly, her eyes never leaving the water. Where's this coming from? A friend at school said something. What? How long are you gonna do that idol thing? And that made you wonder? Nope, I thought something else. And that is, just 'cause you had a fight with your boyfriend, don't take it out on me. Brutal. Dang. Wait, she said, oh yeah, she said she had a thought. I thought she said that like out loud at first. It was so harsh she couldn't help but laugh. That was definitely not something the old Uzuki would have come out with. She would never have picked up on the aggression in the first place. People don't say that type of stuff, but they think it all the time, right? Looking down on idols. Everyone wants to be something, Sakata said, his eyes on the ocean, speaking absent-mindedly. To be what? Something they can boast about. This is me. Hirokawa, in your case, that's singing, the whole idol shebang. And people admire that. It's something to brag about. Everyone wants something like that. Uzuki said nothing back, just gazed at the water, listening. But they ain't anything yet. So when they see you on TV, living the idol dream, well, that's downright bedazzling. And they lack the strength and aplomb to admit that to themselves. Sometimes it turns into irritation, and they find themselves sneering. How long are you going to do that idol thing? That results in pure vindictive spite. Yeah, it sounds like sounds like he's spot on with that, where they're just like kind of jealous in some sort of way, possibly, or whatever. They're just kind of mad that you're doing something so amazing, or so, something that makes you happy or whatever, and they're just, they have that little snarkiness to them when they respond, or like they don't want you to keep doing that because they don't want you to be happy, or they, they're jealous or whatever it might be. All right, so because they realize they have nothing of their own. Ooh, a standard issue self-defense instinct. Well, my friend does have a point, Uzuki said, ducking Sakata's words. She smiled at the empty scenery. You can't be an idol forever. Hmm? Ain't that where you're supposed to argue I can? Do you want encouragement? If you gave me any, I'd get real grumpy. Then I should have gone for it. Why? Because if you blow your top, maybe you'll finally start saying what you mean. Like Uzuki's friend had. You can be a real bully. Not really. You're good at pretending you are and getting people to blurt stuff out. Like how we're a long way from Budokan. She said that like she wasn't speaking to him, almost as if they weren't even her own words. The wind caught her voice and carried it away, but this felt like the truest thing she'd said yet. She only let herself express it in the detached tone, but failed to disguise the bitterness behind the words. And knowing where that came from made it all fall into place. Sakata realized why Uzuki had needed to go out and find herself. She didn't think they could do it. Didn't think they'd get there. Didn't think they had it in them. Didn't think her comrades' hard work would ever make their dreams come true. She thought they were doomed to failure in the realization that she thought that way had dawned on her. So she'd gone out looking for something, anything to distract herself from the truth. Zuki, let me borrow your phone. Why? She asked, but she also handed it over. First, he fired up a train navigation app, looking up the obvious. It's actually pretty close. Only a 2-hour ride from Misakiguchi Station. To where? Where else? The Budokan. Uzuki went real rigid, like she rejected the very idea with her entire body. But that didn't last long. She managed an awkward smile. I knew you were a bully. Sakata handed the phone back and got back on his bike. He took a firm grip on his handlebars, making a show of being ready. This whole bike tour thing was fun, but you didn't lose yourself out here. It sounds so fun, like riding a bike, like in Japan, in like Japan scenery and Japan weather and stuff. Just kind of from the description that you can kind of read from here, and then seeing some like bike kind of like riding stuff around Japan, just scenery in general. Like, I don't know if anybody's watched the Trash Taste podcast or anything like that, with Giguk, the anime man, Joey, and then Sea-Dog VA, Connor. They did a whole like Trash Taste like bike riding special or whatever around Japan for like a pretty like long distance, and it looked so nice, because I'm like around that time when they did it, I think it was like really nice weather, but just the scenery around that they were passing by, like the ocean and just different other like great little spots and stuff that were really I'm trying to think of the word for it, just really pleasant to look at. But yeah, like I'm just thinking about riding a bike and like the wind blowing by you and stuff, and it just feels really refreshing and nice. That's just, I don't know, something that sounds like a good time. All right, what did he say here? So he said, but you didn't lose yourself out there, Zuki. Are you sure? She didn't sound convinced, but she did get back on her bike. Still, Sakata. We've got to get back to the station first. Unfortunately, neither of them knew which way to go. That was a pretty tall order. Okay, that was far. Behold the Budokan. It had taken them a solid 3 hours to make the trip, and Sakata's mutter was steeped in all manner of regret. The long journey had left him aching all over. His body screamed in agony, primarily caused by all that pedaling. Getting back to the station had taken more out of him than anticipated. I told you so, Uzuki said with the wince resting next to him. All those intense dance lessons had her fit as a fiddle, and she didn't look the least bit tired. Bathed in the streetlights, she looked ready to go another round. They were well into fall, and past the skies were dark. In the dim glow of the streetlights, the Nippon Budokan definitely cut an imposing figure. In the open space by the entrance, the wind rustled through the multicolored leaves. It felt like the air here was extra clean, almost like when you step onto the grounds of a shrine, equal parts still and somber. All Alright, so there didn't seem to be anything happening here tonight, and the area was hushed. A few people were cutting across the square, but only Sakata and Uzuki had stopped to stare at the building. What do you think? Uzuki clasped her hands together behind her back, staring up at her dream manifest. For a while she said nothing, just blinked occasionally. From her profile, Sakata could not discern her thoughts, so he said nothing and waited for her to speak. Sakata? Do you know how many idol groups stand on this stage every year? Nope. Not only did he not know, it had never occurred to him to look it up. At best, he had the vague impression that lots of idols or musicians wait, what? Hold on, I gotta reread that. At best, he had the vague impression that lots of idols or musicians made that their goal. Oh, okay. Cool. Excuse me, sorry. Even though the name itself suggested it was not primarily a concert venue. At most, 5 groups make their debut here a year. Some years, not even one. That number didn't really mean much to him one way or another, but from the way she picked her words, he could tell only a select few were ever allowed to stand on that stage. And there's thousands of idol groups in Japan now. She spoke like that was just some unrelated little fun fact. I don't know if all of them are seriously trying to get here, though. But 5 out of 1,000 was certainly not a lot. Clearly an extremely low number. And where are you ranked, Uzuki? Sweet Bullet's about 30 right now. That sounds pretty good. He was legitimately impressed. Not really, Uzuki said, shaking her head. Yeah? Even if it was good enough to secure them a spot on that stage, Sakata thought 30 sounded like it symbolized a lot of potential, but Uzuki seemed to feel the opposite. We're on TV, they know our faces, people spot us on the street, but all we can fill is 2,000 seat venues. Uzuki looked up at the Budokan. How many does this seat? He asked. 10,000. She placed no weight on that number. It was just a statement of a fact. 10,000 minus 2,000 was a whopping 8,000 difference. Sakata didn't really know how big of a gulf that 8,000 fans was. What he did know was far more basic, but you knew that from the get-go. Yeah, I did. I knew that when we made this our goal. I knew, but I forget it along the way. Her eyes dropped to the ground a few yards out. Is this really where I wanted to go? Sakata didn't have an answer to that. Only she could know. And it was something she'd made have to make up her mind about. I never used to worry about these things. Would you rather go back to not reading the room? He threw that question out, and Uzuki didn't overreact. She just kept her head down and shook her head, as a clear sign as any. Uzuki was well aware of how she changed. Sakata didn't know when that had happened. He didn't have an exact date or time, but in this moment she clearly did know. I'm glad I learned how. I mean, I finally get your sarcasm now. Reading the room allowed her to crack jokes like that. And you can tell when your friends are being snide. See, that's what I'm talking about, she laughed. You're so mean. Well, gotta live up to my rep as an inconjurable tease. That earned him a wince. And now when I get these things, I know what my college friends actually mean when they say, I'm amazing. A lot of people have said, taken on new meanings. Uzuki looked up, gazing into the distance. The Budokan was still in front of her, but it felt like she was looking right through it, or maybe not looking at anything at all. Like, there's all these people in my head saying stuff, and if I listen to all of them, then I don't know who I am anymore. She smiled like she was laughing at herself. This was something the old Uzuki had never done. When Sakata said nothing back, her smile faded. Sorry, she said. What am I even talking about, right? Now she was trying to laugh off what she'd just said. I get it, he said, not letting her wriggle out. I get what you're saying. Really? She seemed unconvinced and faintly taken aback. If you know how other people feel, that changes how you feel. That had happened to Sakata. When he'd made his beloved Mai cry, that had really gotten to him. When he'd realized what was going through Shoko's head, he could barely stand it, and to his mind, both of those emotions had been unquestionably genuine. No matter how much thought he'd put into an answer, a single moment could change it. Being with other people changed him. Contact with others let him discover new sides of himself. The self is less defined than you think. Nobody really knows who they are. Maybe you're right. These days, other people's feelings and moods rush indiscriminately through their phone screens. Even if you aren't looking for it, information overload is everywhere, and there are endless sources of things influencing people. You might not want to know, you might not want to see, but once you knew, once you saw, it was too late. You can't go back to not knowing. That knowledge makes a new you, and you have to live with yourself. Out of nowhere, Uzuki had learned to read the room. A huge quantity of information and people's feelings had flooded her senses. She never noticed her friend's snide remarks before, but now she was all too aware. She learned the difference between what people say and what people think, and between what they show and what lies within. And a world based around those discrepancies was hardly appealing. But she still said she was glad it happened, and while marking the difference between her own interior and exterior, she'd smiled. Think this is adolescent syndrome? She asked, looking right at him. The question caught him by surprise, but he did not need to look for an answer. Probably. If it's cured, will I go back? Probably. That would be rough. He got why she'd say that. They laughed at me too. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking right now as well. Oh yeah, idol Uzuki. Yeah, but that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Like on that, I was like, she's saying that she likes like being able to read the room now, but is she, once this kind of gets resolved or whatever, is she going to ever go back to how she was and just not be able to read the room anymore? Or is she going to stay like this possibly, or whatever? I don't know. See, like I said, she says that she likes being able to read the room and being able to kind of read people in a way and notice certain things like she wasn't able to before. Yeah, so is she gonna stay like that, or is she gonna go back to how she was before? Because if she likes that and being able to read the room and stuff is a good thing, you can tell when people are, having those snide remarks like she was saying, or just being condescending or whatever it might be. So it might be a bad thing, like regressing, going backwards, having her go back to her old self. But at the same time too, it seemed like she was a lot more fun loving and just bubbly and stuff when she was her old self. But yeah, we'll see what happens and what ends up going on with her. All right, so probably, if it's cured, will I go back? Probably. That would be rough. You got why she'd said that. They laughed at me too? That one phrase said it all. She didn't want to go back to not knowing when people made fun of her. That's why she'd kept hanging out with those friends, enjoying their conversations, eating lunch with them. That was the normal life she'd obtained now that she could read the room. But she'd also started to doubt herself, which was why she'd skipped school today. Which me do you like better, Sakata? I like both. But do you have a preference? I like both. This time he put a bit more emphasis on the both. That got a hint of a smile from her. I'd say the new me has more fun talking to you. Sorry I was such a bore. I mean, the witty repartee just doesn't stop. Or repartee, possibly. Just like she claimed, Uzuki was visibly enjoying herself, and Sakata could hardly object to that. There was definitely a kind of banter he could only do with her now, and he was undeniably having fun. Anyway, talking with you sure helped clear my mind, she said, stretching. He found it hard to believe this had cleared much of anything. Thanks for keeping me company. Her tone got weirdly formal, and she made a show of bowing. When she straightened up, there was a bashful smile on her face. It was definitely the best-looking fake smile he'd ever seen. And that made it impossible for him to leave well enough alone. Sakata, what's up? She asked, pretending she didn't know. They spent all day together, but he still hadn't moved even one step closer to the heart of the matter. What had she been searching for in Misakiguchi? What had she been trying to find at the Budokan? He actually really wasn't sure. Had Uzuki really been searching for herself? He didn't even know that. But she wasn't fleeing reality. Her presence here proved that. If she was, this would be the last place she'd want to be. As he mulled this over, a buzzing interrupted his thoughts. Uzuki's cell phone. She pulled it out and glanced at the screen. It's Nadaka. She looked him right in the eye and made a face, then she put the phone to her ear. Hello, she said, mega cheery. Sorry, I'm late for a rehearsal, right? Apparently they were still doing prep for the concerts that weekend. Now? I'm still in the city, so I'll rush right over to the studio. Nadaka must have asked where she was. Uzuki had wisely elected not to say the Budokan. I should be there in 30. Huh? Oh yeah, he is. Hang on. With that, she held out her phone toward him. Nadaka said to put you on. He silently took it from her. He expected Nadaka would give him an earful, but he wanted to talk to her anyway. What he'd heard from Uzuki had left him with a favor to ask. Toyohama, got a question for you. Sakata decided to steal the initiative. I should be the one asking questions. Can we still get tickets for the concert Saturday? He straight up ignored her complaints. Aren't you going out with Mai? News spread fast. Yeah, and I'm thinking a concert would be a good date. You'd have to ask Mai what she thought, but she likely wouldn't object. Hang on. Nathaka left the receiver. He could hear her whispering, probably checking with somebody. After a 20-second silence, she said, I can get 2 people on the list. Noise. Then put us on. Sure, but is Uzuki that bad? Her voice got real quiet. I don't know. He wasn't expecting anything to go down on stage. Uzuki was a lot better at hiding her feelings, and that left him without much insight. He just figured it was worth attending. Just hook us up. Got it. Bye. Nathaka hung up on him. He turned to give the phone back and found Uzuki looking at the moon in the night sky. It wasn't quite full, but close enough. There's no rabbit up there, she murmured. Probably for the best. No air or food. Alright. Sakata held out the phone and she took it from him. Where's the fun in that? Uzuki chuckled. Alright, so we're on to chapter 4, Idol Song. So let's see what goes on with this one. So we're 75% of the way through. We only got like, well, I don't know. Yeah, I think this is the last chapter, most likely. Alright, so his shift at the restaurant over. Sakata left the shop to find the skies cloudy, maybe coming from that typhoon that had been hanging over the Ogasawara Islands all week. Currently, it was headed north and not slowing down, but the weather report predicted it would turn out into an extratropical cyclone before it hit the mainland and pass over the waters south of Kanto early next week. It would probably not get too bad here. But that didn't mean that there were no effects. October was half over, but the air had returned to midsummer levels of humidity. He was going to be out and about with Mai today, but the weather was not cooperating. It was 3:10 and they were meeting up in 5. Mai had set to meet up in the front of the restaurant he worked at, so all he had to do was step outside, and he was there. Figuring she'd come from the station, he looked that way and took a few steps down the road from the entrance. It was almost 3:15 now. Still no sign of Mai. She was big on punctuality and almost never late. But Sakata saw no one coming who looked like her. She wasn't showing up in the nick of time here. This was legitimately tardy. What could he pry out of her by the way of an apology? His heart filled with hope. He squinted at the station again, and a car from the opposite direction pulled up beside him. It was almost like this ride was here for him. Puzzled, he turned toward it. A two-tone vehicle. The body was white, but the window frames and roof were black. The fenders and side mirrors were black too, and the whole thing had rounded curves. It looked kind of like a panda. The car was a compact made by a German company. The design had made it quite popular, and he saw it about town often enough. This model had 5 doors, including the luggage space. The door opened, and someone stepped out of the driver's seat. Get in, a voice across the roof, unmistakably Mai's. Mai, he said, unsure where to begin. Hurry up. She sat back down in the driver's seat without waiting for a response. He had infinite questions, but she was clearly in a hurry, so he clambered into a passenger seat. It was roomier than it looked. I'm in. Seatbelt? On. Then let's head out. Her hands on the wheel, Mai checked her mirrors. She waited for a car to pass, then turned on the blinker and eased on the gas. The car quietly pulled out. It gradually sped up and moving away from the restaurant. Soon, the roof of the building was out of sight. They drove straight down the road, his cram school passing in the blink of an eye. By the time he turned to look, it was already gone. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I forgot they were like in front of the Sakata's work. When he was saying like waiting for a car or something along those lines, I thought for whatever reason they were like at the trains and they were talking about the train cars. And then when they said right now that Mai Sakurajima pulled up in the driver's seat of the train car, I was like, there's no fucking way she's driving the train car right now. I have no idea why I thought that, but then I realized, I was like, oh yeah, they're in front of his work. She's in an actual car, not like a train car. So she's driving right now, just a normal car. Alright, so her hands on the wheel, Mai checked her mirrors. She waited for a car to pass, and then turned on her blinker and eased on the gas. The car quietly pulled out. It gradually sped up, moving away from the restaurant. Soon the roof of the building was out of sight. They drove straight down the road, his cram school passing the blink of an eye. By the time he turned to look, it was already gone. He glanced sideways at Mai. She looked completely comfortable behind that wheel. She had fake glasses on. her hair loosely bound and falling down her front. It left the nape of her neck bare, which was always sexy. My? What? She kept her eyes front. What is this? A car? Heard of them? Of course he had. You bought one? This was less a question than a confirmation. Mai was the Mai Sakurajima, so buying a car hardly counted as a major expense. She'd bought herself a condo while still in high school, making this a comparatively trivial purchase just before summer vacation. But then I was away on shoots, so I had them hold off on delivering it. Your license? I have one, obviously. Driving without one was illegal. They got caught at a light just after Fujisawa Station, so she reached into her purse, pulled out her wallet, and showed him her license. It certainly said Mai Sakurajima on it, with her Fujisawa address listed, the genuine article, and of course it had a picture of her to go with it. ID photos have a distinct tendency to turn out awful, but Mai's looked just like the Mai Sakurajima. Astonishing. Come to think of it, her student ID photo had also been totally Mai Sakurajima. Was there a trick to it, or did it just come down to superior raw material? Probably both, so he decided not to ask. It was no skin off his nose if his student ID photo featured dead fish eyes. He could always get a laugh from showing it to people. Spread some good cheer in the world. So when did you get it? Last year while I was shooting the morning soap. Hit up the driver's school around that schedule. Fall to spring then. If you had time to spare, you could have gone on more dates with me. You were too busy studying and you know it. So this was his fault now. You had no time for me, so I was forced to get a license to keep myself occupied. So apparently she did it while he was in his third year in that like time skip kind of time frame that we had. Alright, so and yet she'd still done her part to tutor him. Impressive. Sigh. What was that for? I was planning on taking lessons myself once I saved up a bit. Don't let me stop you. Got my license in secret, then surprised you with the driving date. He'd figured that might let him spend a bit more time with someone as famous as her. She was good at going unnoticed, but her office were being extra careful lately, and most of her travel time was now in her manager's van. Well, I did the exact same thing, Mai said, smirking. You got a license to take me on a date? Exactly. A car makes it much easier to go out, and not because you needed it on a shoot. Well, that too. I thought so. So stop grumbling and navigate. Where to? Odaiba, we're seeing this concert, right? As he started giving directions, Mai turned on the stereo and played Sweet Bullet songs to set the mood. Alright, so moving on to part 2 of chapter 4. So that's pretty cool. Mai Sakurajima bought a car. She got her license unknowingly to Sakata, so that's got to be a pretty big surprise for him, as you can see from his reactions that he's had. That's definitely going to be pretty cool to see in the anime, and I'm assuming a pretty funny scene too when we get to that. Yeah, once that ends up coming out. Alright, so Mai made a few detours on the way to the concert venue, and they got stuck in a few patches of congestion, but they made it to Odaiba just past 5 as the sun began to set. She'd certainly given Sakata a fright when she said, I heard you, and Hirokawa went out on a date, but being alone with Mai in a close car was a novel experience and he enjoyed every second. We just went to Misakiguchi, ate some tuna, and rode bikes around the daikon fields. That's what we call a date. Oh no, Sakata's in trouble. Car Mai is big. Right? Alright. So yeah, he made excuses but had been thinking the same thing the whole day, so he changed the subject as soon as possible. Smart move. Traffic had picked up around Odaiba, but by 5:30 they managed to find a parking garage with vacancies and drop the car off. By the time they got out of the garage, it was 5:40. The concert itself was supposed to start at 6. The gates were already open, and the lobby was likely packed with fans desperate to see their favorite idols. Sakata and Mai were in no hurry, and they took their time walking along the sidewalk. They had always planned to slip in at the last second, avoiding attention. The roads had been more crowded than anticipated, but arguably that meant they'd arrive right on schedule. It being Saturday, Odaiba was filled with pleasure seekers. The crowd definitely leaned young. Lots of 20, 30-somethings, and many foreign tourists. Mai was walking next to him. She'd swapped her fake glasses for a hat, and in a mask. She'd worn a cute sweater in the car, but now she had on a baggy jacket, hiding a figure the envy of women everywhere. Neither her expression nor silhouette was anything like the Mai Sakurajima everyone knew. Perhaps for ease of driving, she was wearing skinny slacks down below, so this look really emphasized her long, slender legs. Baggy jacket or no, even in disguise, Mai always managed to protect an aura of beauty. As they crossed a busy intersection, Mai put her arm around Sakata's. Mai put her arm around Sakata's, her fingers lightly resting just above his elbow, so you don't get lost. She explained, "I don't have a phone, so don't you dare let go." It was crowded enough that they had trouble not bumping into the pedestrians crossing into the other direction. If he lost Mai here, it was all over. "You'd been here before, Sakata." Nope, never had a reason to. So he didn't really know where they were going. Mai seemed to be moving with purpose, so he was following her lead. "You come here often?" There was a TV station nearby, so he could see why she'd know of the lay of the land. "Not often, but occasionally, mostly for work." Soon enough, he spotted a large shopping mall up ahead. There was a giant robot standing out in front that looked like it was over 20 yards tall. Parts of it were glowing red. Sakata couldn't help but gawk. It sounds like one of those big old Gundam things that they have at I know that's just more than 20 feet tall, but that's always something really cool. I want to see that one day, just a freaking huge Gundam that they have in Japan. That would be freaking awesome. All right. So Driver City, Odaiba, didn't mess around. This place had everything, a regular cornucopia. "It transforms," Mai said. "Seriously?" That sounded worth seeing, but Mai didn't even slow down. She pulled him past the robot to the concert venue beyond. Inside, Mai spotted the reception for staff and friends. "Go on," she said, letting go. "Me? Didn't Naruto tell you there'd be 2 tickets under Asasagawa?" She did not. Putting the tickets under Mai Sakurajima would likely attract unwanted attention. Sakata headed over, and a woman in a suit asked, "May I have your name, please?" "Asasagawa." She checked the list on her table and found his name right away. You could tell from the look in her eyes. "Here's 2 tickets. Head right on in." "Thanks." "You're welcome." He left the desk and rejoined Mai, and they had headed farther in. Down a short passage, they opened the soundproof doors and were in the concert hall itself. The standing area was already packed to the brim, even at the back. There was no elbow room. This was still less than 2,000. They moved along the back of the wall, finding a tiny pocket to occupy. And as they did, an announcer started reading the rules. "No recording, no climbing on stage, don't bother those around you, get hype but not too hype, etc." This concert was a joint one, with 4 different idol groups performing, 3 or 4 each. Sweet Bullet was the second group. He'd heard a man near the reception, likely another concert goer. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting a little tired. Say he'd heard there was a secret guest, so there might be one last group. But the secret guest was likely Mai herself. "Any moment now," she said, checking the time on her phone. A second later, music started pounding and the first group ran out on stage. "Let's go, Odaiba." 6 girls and all dressed in black, their music rough and powerful. Not all idol groups were cute, clean-cut, and poppy. There were groups leaning into rock, metal, or punk styles. Uzuki had said that there were thousands of idol groups out there. While many followed the major trends, it stood to reason there'd be some that bucked the vogue. The kind of competition helped to create new things and the trends of the future. Not everyone in the industry had what it took to be the next Mai Sakurajima. Mainstream superstars like her were far and few between. Sakata turned to look at her, and she picked up on his attention, looking back at him, her eyes asking, "What?" He shook his head, indicating nothing. She rolled her eyes with a laugh. Nothing special about that back and forth, but it was a happy moment nonetheless. The first group sang 3 songs. Their fans were yelling the names of the members, and their cheers reached the stage. The girls waved back and then dashed off. Once the stage was clear, the lights turned off intentionally. Ooh, the audience anticipation was like a low rumble rising from below. A moment later, a soft glow lit the stage. The vacant space now filled with the 5 members of Sweet Bullet. Their backs turned to the crowd. One at a time, they turned around, singing a brief solo. The last to turn was the chorus, or was the girl in the center, Uzuki. The song had started with an arrangement of the chorus, but now the main musical riff soared out high. The fans' voices echoed over the intro. Uzuki, Doka, Yan Yan, Ran Ran, Hotaran. And then, alright, but they didn't want to ruin the song itself, so when the main melody kicked in, they stuck to waving glow sticks, moving with the music just below the stage itself. The group was boosted by their fans, though it was Uzuki who pulled the group's vocals along. Her voice caught each note and captured the emotion behind each lyric, and the rest of the girls followed her lead. She was the core of the act, and it was her performance that brought the song together. Even at concert volume, 5 voices in harmony felt oddly comfortable. It had been a solid year since Sakata had been to a Sweet Bullet concert. During the summer year, the year before, some family business had made Kotomi Kano drop out last minute, and Kaide had forced her ticket into his hands. He hadn't been back since. It was clear they'd made dramatic improvements. All of them were better singers now. They could really belt it out. Their choreography had always been polished, but it was even more unified now. From the tallest to the shortest member, all movements were as one, in sync. That level of polish really caught the eye. It was hard to look away. Even audience members here for the other groups were sucked in. He could see their jaws dropping around him. But even with this level of magnetism, Uzuki had said they were a long way from the Budokan. They needed 5 times the fans they had right now. What more could they do? He didn't think Sweet Bullet's performance power was in any way inferior. They had the skills, so why was their growth stymied? Or stymied? What? That's a weird word. Alright, so Sakata was hardly the one to find the answer. If the solution was so easy to figure out, they would have already solved it and been on stage at the Budokan by now. As these thoughts were running through his head, Sweet Bullet's flawless concert started to unravel. At first it was minor, almost like he was imagining it, but it felt like Uzuki's dancing alone was lagging slightly behind. Maybe that was the intent. It only became obvious when Uzuki and Nautaka swapped positions. Nautaka's eyes momentarily looked concerned. He checked Mai out, and she was frowning. Something was wrong. The fans were starting to pick up on it, and the glow sticks grew unsteady. All eyes turned to Uzuki. Uzuki kept dancing slightly off the beat, her eyes staring into the distance. Her smile didn't fade, but she wasn't looking at the fans. Sakata was getting real concerned. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know if anything was about to go down, but at least he felt this was objectively not something that could be put down as in bad form today. And that instinct proved right. As they hit the second chorus, it happened. Uzuki's voice broke, like the words caught in her throat. Her mic caught a rasp, almost like a grunt of pain. But Sweet Bullet's song didn't stop. Nautaka and the other members took over Uzuki's solo. Uzuki was in the middle of them, still holding her mic and singing, but it didn't look like her mic was picking up any sound. Audio problems? Mai whispered, but she was clearly worried about something else. The same thing he was. The first number ended. All members of Sweet Bullet were facing the crowd in a row. "Hello, everybody," Yayano said, like nothing was wrong. As expected of the group's sub-leader, she easily took command. "We're Sweet Bullet." So I'm like, okay. Did she lose her voice? Is that her adolescent syndrome? Her voice just went away and she can't, there's no audio from her voice anymore? I'm assuming. Alright, so as expected of the group's sub-leader, she easily took command. "We're Sweet Bullet." All members cried as one, but the microphones only picked up 4 voices. Uzuki's was not among them. She moved her lips, but Sakata couldn't make out a thing. He likely wouldn't have even if he'd been right up front. Possibly because she was aware of the problem, Yai kept the patter brief, saying, "We're short on time, so let's get back to the music. We've got 2 more songs for you." Before the next song began, everyone but Uzuki exchanged quick glances. There was a lot of meaning packed behind each look, and a testament to how much time they'd spent together. Sweet Bullet got through their second and third numbers without major incident. Like during the first song, Uzuki alone was slightly out of step and clearly just moving her lips, but they showed no signs of canceling the performance. The whole time they were on stage, they were all bright and shiny like idols should be, smiling away. As they ran off, the third group took the stage, not letting the hype die down. Before the first song began, Mai said, "Let's go," and Sakata followed her out to the hall. A little noise made it past the soundproof doors. It was like a different world out here, like they were back in reality. They left the building and walked toward the parking garage. As they crossed the first light, Sakata forced himself to speak. "Mai, was that? I think her voice died." He'd wondered as much. "I doubt we'll get a reply soon, but I'll text Nataka," she said, and she stepped off the main path. Sakata stood next to her, Mai's words echoing through his mind. "I think her voice died." He wondered what that had meant to someone who sang. Alright, so going on to part 3. Dang. So I'm hoping that... So is this her, like... Maybe this is her actual, like, adolescent syndrome, possibly? I don't know. Well, I assume the other thing was her adolescent syndrome, you know, her being able to read the room, something different happening with her. But maybe this is, like, another part of it or something along those lines. Like, things are getting worse on her side and causing for this bad thing to happen now to her. Yeah, definitely interesting. Alright, so Nataka's response arrived an hour later. "We're at the hospital." A short text to Mai's phone. It sounded like the second they left the stage, they'd taken Uzuki to a doctor. Mai asked where, saying she'd picked her up, and it turned out the hospital was close to Odaiba. "Oh yeah, Alan, yeah, what's going on, man?" But I am going to be reading Volume 11 pretty soon. So my plan is to... I got to get out my Volume 9, or after this, we're done with Volume 10 here, the live stream for it. I plan to do... put out, like, edit the video and stuff for my Volume 9 review, put that out, and then once I'm done with that, then I'll do my review for my overall review for this light novel for Volume 10, and then do the actual Volume 11 live stream for that one. Yeah, so hopefully not too far from now. Yeah, should be pretty good. Sweet. Alright, so it said, what was it? So Mai was asking where she picked her up, and it turned out the hospital was close to Odaiba. And I know I want to read Volume 11 so bad. It sounds so good, and from what everybody's telling me, it sounds really good, and I want to see more of Ikumi Akagi, see what's going on with her. I know there's a little bit of Toko... I think there's a little bit of Toko Kirishima mentioning throughout that light novel too. And that's like the one right... Oh, yeah. There's some... I believe there's some Toko Kirishima conversation in that one as well. But I hear that there's a lot of mystery in that one too, kind of. Or like something's going on with Mai Sakurajima in some way in that one. So I really want to read that one so bad and see what's going on in it. It's worth the wait, man. I want to see. Damn. Oh, you haven't read it yet, Alan? Yeah, I know. I need to. Dang, I gotta get it, man. Or, I mean, I got it already. Like, I was gonna make a little... Or I made a little video kind of showing it. But I did get my Volume 11 right here. So I got the Nightingale... I don't know why I was, like, putting that in front of the mic. Yeah, the Nightingale volume. I still haven't even looked at the pictures inside. Oh, okay, so this is the... Yeah. I feel like I'm getting too ahead of myself. I'm like, I need to finish Volume 10, but still, this is really nice. Oh, yeah, but this is the one where they show that picture of Kunimi, Futaba, and Sakata all older. Dang. Mai Sakurajima. That is Mai. Okay. Yeah. Definitely got to read this really soon, but I'm glad that I picked it up in general and I have a physical copy of it. It's going to be great. But all right, we'll jump back into it. So by the time, where are we at? So, all right, by the time Sakata and Mai reached the hospital, it was already 8:30 p.m. The lot was almost empty. Mai put the parking brake on and they took off their seatbelts. They opened the doors and stepped out. "Is that the right entrance?" Mai asked. Outpatients' hours were over. The back entrance had a red light out for emergency patients. That was the only passage that seemed to have lights on. Figuring they could go in elsewhere if the staff said to, they headed toward it. And on the way, they ran into a couple of familiar faces. Uzuki with the bench coat around her shoulders. She was still in her stage costume and hadn't even removed her makeup. Almost like she just shed the jewelry and run straight here. By her side was her mom. Sakata had met her once a while back. She'd been a teen when she'd had Uzuki and hadn't quite left her 30s behind. She definitely didn't look like she had a daughter in college. They both saw Sakata and Mai coming. "Sakata, long time no see," the mom called. "And Mai." They both bobbed their heads and then turned to Uzuki. "You okay there, Uzuki?" Sakata asked. She didn't answer, just smiled awkwardly. "Sorry, her voice just isn't working right now," her mom said, not changing her tone at all. That left Sakta and Mai speechless. Mai had called it. Her voice really had died. In the car on the way here, Mai had told him a few stories about people with these symptoms. Too much stress or bad news from work that left them temporarily unable to speak, no matter how hard they tried. They'd seen people lose their hearing or suddenly start slurring their speech, too. He didn't find this hard to believe because he'd lived through the memory loss Kaide's dissociative disorder had given her. Human emotions and bodies are more entwined than most people think. We've been told to get some rest for now. She has been busy, Uzuki's mom said. Well, probably not as much as you, Mai. Uzuki looked like she had something to say, but couldn't. Her mouth kept opening and closing. Sakata was watching her do this, and she noticed meeting his eye. She managed to smile and quickly looked away. If you're here from Nataka, she's still inside, talking to the manager about tomorrow. Sweet Bullet had a Sunday concert, too. That would require contingency plans. Uzuki's mom pulled her car keys out of her jacket pocket. The lights on a minivan behind them flashed. Hate to run, but I'm gonna get her home. Take care. What else could he say? Uzuki gave him a little wave, bobbed her head in Mai's direction, and slid into the passenger seat. Her mom made her sure her seatbelt was on, then waved to them and drove away. The van quietly pulled out of the hospital lot. Half the lights in the hospital halls were off, and it was rather gloomy. There was no one around. Sakata and Mai's footsteps echoed. The hall went on for a while, but when they turned the corner, it got much brighter. They heard voices. So you are talking about having Uzuki go solo. The speaker sounded pissed. Was that Nataka? They stopped peering ahead. 5 figures stood before the internal medicine outpatient desk. They were in a little meeting area, but none of them had taken a seat. The Sweet Bullet members were all wearing the same bench coats as Uzuki. Nataka Toyohama, Yaya No, Ranko Nakago, and Hotaru Okazaki. All 4 set of eyes on an adult woman facing them, Nataka's manager, Mai whispered. She looked to be around 30. She wore a well-cut suit jacket and glasses that made her look intelligent and collected. She definitely wasn't having the best day, but she didn't seem defensive. Well, Yai said. You gotta tell us, Hotaru said. She had kind of a baby voice. Manager. The last plea came from Branko, the most grown-up looking member. Fine, the manager said, throwing up her hands. The chief said to keep it quiet, but it's true. There's talk of having her go solo. Would that mean she graduates? Hotaru demanded. She didn't specify graduate from what, but everyone knew already, and she probably didn't want to say it out loud. But neither side said anything further. Dang. Yo, what's going on, Vic? How's it going? Hope you're doing good. Alright, wait. Oh yeah, he read volume 11 too? Dang. Man, I know. I need to get on it. I'm almost there. We're almost there. Slowly but surely, we're almost there. Alright, so had he timed it, the silence would probably have been only 5 seconds, but it sure felt agonizingly long. The chief thinks that's for the best. All four girls bit their lips, but Uzuki rejected the idea. Nataka looked up, frowning. She wasn't ready to celebrate. Why? She asked. I couldn't say. When was this? Yai asked. Right after they shot the commercial. Like end of August? That's, Ranko gasped. She probably meant to add so long ago. Excuse me. At the time, the chief let it drop, but after seeing how people reacted, well, he couldn't leave well enough alone. He wants more people to see how great she is. Truth is, we've been getting offers to launch a solo career from some pretty heavy hitters. Sakata assumed that meant big shot producers in the music biz. And you told Uzuki this? Yai asked, making sure it sounded like she was chewing over each bit of information one at a time. Nataka stood next to her with the same look on her face, thinking hard. We have not. The chief said he was waiting for the right moment. Then why has Uzuki been acting all funny? Hotaru wondered. That question got right to the heart of the matter. But it didn't seem like the group's members had any answers. They'd all sensed it. They'd all noticed the change in Uzuki, and they'd all secretly assumed this must have been about the solo career offer. But from what their manager said, that theory was off base. But they couldn't be sure. They didn't have enough clues. What was Uzuki carrying that left her without a voice? What about you? The manager asked. Any idea what could be weighing on her? No one said anything after long silence, but this one had a very different meaning. The girls were looking at one another, and there were definitely ideas. I'll take that as a yes. But still, none of them spoke. If you don't want to tell me, fine. Can you figure it out? Yeah, I nodded for everyone. Then we'll be there tomorrow as scheduled. Yeah, all four of them said in unison. Just be ready for the worst. Even Sakata knew what that meant. If Uzuki still didn't have her voice... Oof. Yeah, man. Yeah, Volume 10's been pretty good so far. Loving it. Wondering how it's gonna play out for Uzuki for sure. She's turned into like one of my favorite characters, I'd say. She's gone up there a lot ever since Volume 8. Seeing that, and then a little bit of her sprinkled out throughout things, and then her definitely, being the focus in this one for the most part. Yeah, she's really, really cool. All right, so no one spoke on the drive home. There was one more passenger. Hold on. Damn. My bad. I got distracted for a second. No one spoke on the drive home. There was one more passenger this time, yet silence reigned. Hands on the wheel, Mai focused on driving. Sakata was in the passenger seat, and Nadeca was behind him, staring out the window, watching the world go by. In the side mirror, he could see a melancholy look on her face. For a while, the car stuck to main roads, but as they passed Yoga, Mai took the big sweeping curve onto the Daisen Kaihin toll road. They passed through the electronic toll collection gate and sped up. By the time the Tama River shot by beneath them, Mai's car had merged into traffic and was going 50 miles per hour. From there, they cruised along, covering a lot of ground, unable to bear the oppressive silence any longer. Sakata popped the cap on the soda he'd bought at the convenience store just before the concert. Peach flavor? He took a sip. This is pretty good. Mai and Nadeca did not deign to respond. So much for his attempt at lightening the mood. Such harsh rewards. He was still reeling when a voice from the back seat hit him in the green room before the show. When every other emotion was being held back, only regret remained. There was no trace of Nadeca's usual spunk in her voice. It sounded so different. For a moment, Sakata didn't even realize it was her. He checked the mirror again, and she said, her elbow propped up against the doorframe, head leaning against the glass. Her eyes were still on the scenery, but likely not seeing much of anything. Uzuki asked us all something. Mai said nothing. Sakata followed her lead, waiting. Nadeca's next words were very quiet. You think we can make it to the Budokan? Any other day I'd have said, you know we can, or let's make it happen. I always have. Nadeca's whisper was almost lost in the hum of the engine. It was a thing we always did when we were upset about a gig getting canceled, or we messed up on the job, or lost confidence, when we threw ourselves into singing and dancing lessons but weren't seeing any increase in fans and felt like crying. When Aika and Matsuri graduated, any time one of us felt crushed by it all, it was like our code. Let's reach Budokan together. That's how we've always picked ourselves back up. Her voice was getting choked up, not from sadness or loneliness, and obviously not from joy. This was regret. She was disappointed in herself. Her eyes were welling up. I've always said it, but today I couldn't. Not me, not anyone else. The words are so easy, but when Uzuki asked, no one said anything. And I know why. The first one to speak up was always Uzuki. She was always the one who pulled us out of our moods. It was easy to pile on afterward. Someone had already said it. Someone had already made the choice. The burden wasn't on them. Uzuki was keeping all of us afloat, and now she's the one who's lost, and we couldn't do anything for her. Ah, okay. So that's what's going on a little bit. Sakata didn't think this was entirely true. When Uzuki's voice had died mid-show, every Sweet Bullet member had stepped up and helped cover. That's true. It had been a problem that could easily have derailed everything, and they'd chosen not to cancel, but to finish out their set. Only they could have pulled that off. There were definitely fans who'd noticed something was wrong, but since the show went on, they hadn't been worried. The results spoke for themselves. It was the best possible outcome given what they were dealing with. That wasn't a stunt you could pull off on short notice. Nadeca had mentioned they were spending a lot less time together these days, but today's concert had demonstrated the depths of their power as a group, and the audience had been that into it because that came across. That definitely shows what kind of group of friends that they are, how close they are and stuff, and how much time that they have spent together, because like he said, they pulled that off in a snap, like in an instant. They noticed that Uzuki couldn't sing, or was having her problems and stuff that she was having at that moment, and they immediately, like, in flow or whatever, or in stride, jumped in, took her place, and didn't really miss a beat and didn't make it like super awkward at that point, for all the fans and stuff. So yeah, hats off to all of them. Sorry, I gotta take a drink of water. Oh no, you're good, Nick. Don't worry. Or Vic, don't worry, man. All right. Cool. So let me see, where was I at? So mentioning there was a lot less time, and the audience became. Where was I? I can't even remember where I was at. Dang it. Oh yeah, I was right here, I think. Yeah, but saying any of that now would mean little to her. Yeah, I just assumed Uzuki would always be okay. The car was still cruising along. Mai still wasn't saying anything. Sakata gave her a sidelong glance, but she was just maintaining a safe distance from the white SUV up ahead. Mai's car had taken them through Kawasaki, and they were entering the Yokohama city limits. She took an exit to the Yokohama Shindo. The navigator screen showed that they had passed the toll at Totsuka, then followed Route 1 all the way to Fujisawa. For a while, they drove in silence. Finally, Mai said, "Well, what do you do tomorrow?" She asked in a totally typical tone of her voice. Her hands rested on the wheel, and her expression was relaxed. Nadaka jumped at the question and peeled her face off the window. She righted up her posture, her back a bit too straight. Maybe she thought she'd be scolded for all that whining. Mai was generally super nice, and while she didn't often say it so aloud, she really did wish Nadaka every success. Ooh. She always downloaded the track whenever they put on a new song. She always bought the CD too. She'd put Sweet Bullet music on in the car on the way there too. But the flip side of that was that she could be kind of harsh when anyone griped about the rigors of celebrity life. She was just as harsh on herself, and that was part of why she'd maintained her popularity. Sakata himself had shifted to the window side of his seat. He'd taken the collateral damage from one of these spats before. She probably wouldn't start slapping anyone in the car, but his flight reflex had kicked in. Mai noticed and shot him a quick glance, but said nothing. He'd almost rather she'd said, or wait, what? What do you say? Yeah, he'd almost rather she had. The silence was scary. Tomorrow will just be the four of us. No, Uzuki. Can you do it? Mai asked. Yes, obviously. Nataka's tone of voice didn't sound too confident. She was still scared. They didn't know for sure they could pull this off, but she wanted to make it work, and that's why she said so. Okay, Mai said. A smile played about her lips. We can't let Uzuki go on freaking out. We've got to keep our shit together. Alright, so we're on part 5 of chapter 4. When he opened the curtains, there were mountainous clouds drifting slowly from west to east. Every now and then a patch of blue would show itself. Was it partly cloudy or partly sunny? It could go either way. Which way will today's concert go? Sunny, cloudy, or would it rain? Was a storm coming? He checked the weather forecast yesterday, and there'd been both a sun and raindrop. Sunny with a chance of rain, with a very summery kind of unpredictability. The man reading the report had bluntly said, "The skies might be clear, but bring an umbrella anyway. This rain might come out of nowhere." Sakata stared up at this indecisive sky through half-lidded eyes. He clearly hadn't slept enough and was ready to topple back into bed. The previous day, he'd worked a shift, met up with Mai, seen a concert, and dealt with the fallout. The hospital visit made them come home late, but still only just past 11, so that wasn't why he hadn't slept. The main reason was that the second he stopped in the door, Kaede hit him with a million questions about Uzuki. Is she okay? What about tomorrow? What did Nadaka say? She'd even talked to him through the bathroom door, so went on for a while. How do you even find out about Uzuki's thing? He asked. Kaede hadn't been at the show. There's articles about it online. When he got out of the bath, she showed him her laptop screen. There were several articles about what went down during the show. It was basically all speculation, not a single definitive fact, and the headlines were pure clickbait, trying to rile her fans up. They'd made up a story about fighting within the group, baselessly suggested Uzuki might be graduating soon, all just stirring the pot. Since Uzuki was in the limelight to begin with, it was very easy for these articles to draw views. That's why there were so many covering the same ground. That's how these people made a living. She'll be fine. Really? I mean it. It's Uzuki. And she had Nadaka and the other Sweet Bullet members looking out for her. She had her fans. She also always perked them up, and now they do the same for her. So it was no use anyone else getting depressed. True. Kaede must have caught his drift, so she swore to be there for Uzuki, even if it rained. That didn't mean all her worries were gone, but she'd gotten what she needed for now and retired to her room. Yawning, Sakata rolled out of the living room and found Kaede up and ready to head out. It was after 9 a.m., and each second took closer to 10. Leaving already? The outdoor concert started at 1. The venue was on Hakai Island, so it would only take an hour to get there. He knew she was fired up, but it was a bit too early. I'm meeting Komi at Yokohama Station, and we're getting lunch together. With that, Kaede headed for the door. Sakata and Nasuno just watched her go. Take care, he called. I will. The door opened and she stepped out. She's grown so much, Sakata's murmur genuinely touched. I know, it's so weird. I was going to say she just casually just left, just saying later or whatever. Like she's going to go have lunch with one of her friends. It's definitely big change out of Kaede. Like I said, it's still taking some use to her. Still taking some use for me to get used to that, with her just being all right, I don't know, so casual about going outside when before it was such a struggle. I know, we are almost done. 88% of the way through. I was waiting for the 90% to be all right, now it feels like I'm about to finish this. Alright, so alone in the house, Sakata made himself a late breakfast, did the laundry and cleaned his room. He didn't leave until 11:30. The trip from Fujisawa to Hakai Island was almost the same as his college commute, identical until Kanazawa Hakai Station. He could probably have trimmed 10 minutes off of it by going a different way, but this route meant most of the fare was covered by this train pass. Even on the same train, the Sunday crowd was totally different. The vibe was super day off, especially once he hit the Keikyu line. It was all couples and families with kids. They must have headed out to Misakiguchi or stopping at the Yokosuka Chuo station on the way. Maybe even headed for Hakai's island like Sakata. When the train reached Kanazawa Hakai, quite a few people got off, including a bunch of people with little kids and young couples. Through the gates, they all made a beeline for the seaside line, Sakata among them. The seaside line station had originally been a short walk away, but the remodel had made transferring much easier. Like the name suggested, the train took them on an elevated tracks along the coast. This high up, it commanded a view of wide expansion of ocean. The windows did their work. While he gazed absently at the water, they stopped at 3 stations and then arrived at his destination, Hakai Island. Just as the stations named Enoshima weren't on Enoshima, the station wasn't actually on Hakai Island. He left the gates and then the station, following the crowd from his train toward the ocean. Their eyes were trained on the island ahead and the bridge to it. Not far now. Sakata walked alone, surrounded by couples and families. Mai had work and couldn't come. It was rare for her to have prolonged time off on weekends. The previous day had been an exception. Slightly conscious of the way of the looks he was getting, he made it safely across the Kanazawa Hakai Bridge, reaching the man-made island beyond. With his visit to Odaiba the day before, he was spending a lot of time on reclaimed land this weekend. The island was covered in aquariums, amusement park attractions, shopping malls, hotels, and an arena, a massive sea-themed leisure facility. It was on TV a lot, so he'd known it existed, but this was Sakata's first time here. When you lived close enough to go somewhere any time, it was easy to never get around to it. In his mind, this was just one of those places. But now that he was here, it was bigger than he thought. The vibe was well-maintained park, or maybe theme park specifically. Since it was October, they had Halloween decorations up and certainly added the latter impression. He followed the signs to the concert venue, heading farther in. Looking up at the tracks of a huge roller coaster, he passed through the shadow of a building and the view opened up ahead. He made it onto the far side of the island. This was a square with the ocean view and a lot of people in it. The stage was set up on one side and someone was already performing. He didn't recognize the name. They were a 4-man rock band. They seemed fairly popular with the ladies. There was a passionate crowd up front. Looked like today wasn't all idols. The next act was a singer-songwriter from Kanagawa. She had a guitar and a harmonica, and her gentle melodies filled the venue with a warm, fuzzy atmosphere. The crowd was quite varied. Fans here to see a favorite artist mingled with people who just ought to be. Wait, what? So it says fans here to see a favorite artist mingled with people who just happened to be on Hakai Island and decided to check out the concert. It was clear which half was more excited. Fans were trying to get as close to the stage as possible while the rest hung out toward the back, half-heartedly clapping. There was another set watching the stage from even farther away. There was plenty of space to move around, lots of people going. There's a show on? And giving it a listen. Sakata was one of them. While the enthusiasm levels differed, the crowd itself was sizable, maybe 2,000 hyped up fans by the stage, like the show the day before, and a solid 500 or 600 non-fans. Nataka and her friend Kotomi Kano must have been out somewhere. Whoa, dang it. Getting up at like 3 in the morning today is kicking my butt, I can tell now. Alright, so let's see, in a solid 500 or 600 non-fans. Kaide and her friend Kotomi Kano must have been out there somewhere, but the crowd was too big to find them. This wasn't an environment suited to meeting anyone. Thank you, Hakai Island, the 30-something singer-songwriter said. She waved and left the stage. She was replaced by a young woman, the MC. She approached the edge of the stage, mic in hand. Next up is Sweet Bullet, she cried. The intro music started and the group's members ran out on stage. Yai Ano, the sub-leader, she'd been throwing herself into the action on a lot of sports-themed variety shows lately. Hotaru Okuzaki, who had been getting more TV acting jobs, she had a role opposite of Mai. Behind her was Ranko Nakago, who had been working as a pinup model on the side. Fourth on stage was Nataka Toyohama, blonde hair sparkling. That was all. There were 5 members in Sweet Bullet, but the 5th was not here. The fans up front naturally spotted Uzuki's absence. A ripple shot through the crowd, anxious whispers. As if trying to blow that all away, Sweet Bullet began belting out their number. No mention of Uzuki's absence, performing like they always did. All smiles for the fans. High energy, crisply choreographed routines, vocals that soared even on an outdoor stage. The stage itself was a bit wide for the 4 of them, but that didn't mean they looked small. And the fans responded to their energy. They yelled, clapped, and jumped with them. A few drops of rain fell, but nobody cared. It might have even heightened the energy. They blasted through the first song without letting the hype fade. Hair wet, drops glistening on their necks, and not all from the rain, panting. They paused to catch their breath, without anyone calling for silence. A hush settled over the crowd. Everyone gulped, waiting to see if Sweet Bullet would address the missing member. The only sound was the soft patter of the rain. "Hello, everyone," Yai cried. "We are Sweet Bullet." All 4 voices in harmony, their standard greeting. "Wait, aren't there supposed to be more of us?" Hotaru asked, using her baby face to full advantage. Are we going there?" Nataka scoffed. "It's hard singing Izuki's parts," Ranko grumbled. The crowd was laughing. "So where is she?" Hotaru asked, taking the lead again. "Look, the crowd's accepted it. Just move along," Nataka hissed. Another laugh. "Izuki's parts are hard," Ranko said, evidently not done griping. "I'm on half of them." "I know, Yai. Don't just stand there. Do your thing." Nataka was clearly over this and blaming their sub-leader. The whole riff felt incredibly natural. The fans came to their shows to see them banter like this. "Don't worry," Yai said, turning to the crowd, all eyes focused on her. "Uzuki will come back to us," she cried. "For now, we sing." With that, their second number cranked up. It was one of their standards, a song that always got the crowd jumping. With the fans' enthusiasm secured, everyone meshed perfectly with the routine on stage. A couple from the "There's a show on" crowd near Sakata were whispering, "Wow, that's crazy," and wincing at each other. The idol fans were a bit too excited for them, but they weren't moving away. Their eyes stayed on the stage, interested, curious. And they weren't the only ones. As it went from the second verse to the chorus, the fans got even wilder, and the rain started falling harder. It was getting to the point where Sakata wanted an umbrella. Sakata glanced up at the sky and saw dark clouds overhead. It had been blue skies a moment ago, and he could actually still see it in the distance. Like the weather report had said, random clouds had suddenly shown up and had brought random shifts in weather. No telling what a few minutes from now would bring. But once this song ended, Sweet Bullet had only one last number, and they'd be done. Their slot was only 3 songs long, and this song had only had a final chorus left. They should wrap up fine. But even as he thought that, there was a crack. Every light on stage went out. A wave of surprise ran through the crowd, crashing up against him. The idol's eyes went up, glancing at the lights. The music had stopped too. The mics weren't picking up their voices. The speakers were dead. Everyone got real quiet. The whole venue went still. Electric problems? Power was dead all over the venue. The rain was most likely the cause. But that left the four idols stranded, just standing there on stage. A murmur ran across the room. A man ran out on the wings of in a staff uniform. He was holding a megaphone. "We're looking into the issue," he called. "Please bear with us." He simply announced a pause in the show and then left again. Someone ran bench coats out to the girls on stage to keep them warm, not sure what else to do. They put them on. This was dire, obviously for the fans, but also for everyone in Sweet Bullet. They'd wanted so much to pull this concert off without Uzuki here. That emotion had driven them onto that stage, and having those hopes dashed like this was a serious blow. And that's likely why they'd stayed on stage even when the staff urged them off. They wanted to finish, wanted to keep going, and that kept them where they were. But despite what they wanted, the concert was at a standstill, and part of the crowd was starting to drift away, especially those at the back, who just happened across the show. The rain was falling harder. Sakata really wished he had an umbrella. He pulled up his hood, trying to make do. Even the crowd at the front was starting to crumble away, wanting to get out of the rain, one or two at a time, little clusters peeling off, with no telling when the show would start back up. They must have decided to seek refuge, and from up on stage, that was all too easy. He could see the members of Sweet Bullet in their pursed lips, visibly frustrated by their lack of options. More and more people were leaving the front of the stage, but the thinning crowd helped him spot someone in their midst. The reason he was here today, the person he'd come here for. Uzuki was standing there, in a gap in the crowd. She had a baseball cap on and a hood pulled over that. Her eyes were boring on into the stage, looking more worried than anyone else present. Sakata had figured she'd be here, even he'd been concerned enough about this show to make his way here. No way she'd stayed home. He moved slowly over to her and stood by her side. "You come to these shows often?" he asked, like he didn't know her. Uzuki's eyes glanced his way, but with no voice, she soon turned them back to the stage. "I won't tell anyone, even if you talk to me." Her expressions didn't change. She showed neither surprise nor confusion. Didn't insist she'd lost her voice. This was the truth. "You knew I was lying?" Liars are good at spotting other liars. He'd first suspected at the hospital she just seemed far too calm. She hadn't been at all emotional, and that had seemed unnatural. It was like she was hiding something, and in that situation, Uzuki had only one thing to hide. "And you're a liar, Sakata." "Yeah, we're both weasels." That's mean to weasels. They're what magnanimous creatures are they? Or are they? Uzuki let out a little laugh like she was trying to jumpstart her feelings. Their banter trailed off, and there was a short silence. She was the first one to break it. "I really did lose my voice during the show," she said, making excuses. "Though I suppose you won't believe that." Uzuki shot him a nervous glance. "I believe you. I was there." That had not been acting. Sakata had read that as a shock to everyone. "You were in the back, right? You saw me? You can see a lot from up on stage. Then they've probably spotted us." Sakata looked up at the stage, where Sweet Bullet was still gamely waiting. "Yeah," Uzuki mustered an awkward smile. The constant downpour was drenching her hoodie. "I come to every concert." "Your first question." "Oh?" "I was at the very first Sweet Bullet concert, and I've never missed one, no matter how small the venue." She spoke softly. "Have they had problems like this before?" He matched her pretense, acting like she was just a fan. He was the one who started that, after all. "Yeah, not on a stage this big, but they'd had speakers die before." "How'd they handle it?" "Kept singing without the mics, at least their center did." Even as Uzuki spoke, Sweet Bullet began ditching their bench coats. The stage was pretty far from there, but he saw them make eye contact and take a deep breath in unison. A moment later, four voices rang out in harmony. No accompaniment, nothing blaring through the speakers. Their mics weren't picking up a thing, and the rain itself was getting pretty loud. The patter on clothes and pavement was very noticeable, but the four idols lined up on stage singing together. Where Sakata and Uzuki stood, they could only just make it out, a barely audible song, but that was enough to get the mood changing. Someone near the front started clapping. With each clap, more people joined in, spreading backwards through the crowd. Parts of the crowd had been on their way out, stopped, half confused, half curious, and they stayed put, watching the girls on stage and the fans. It was hardly a flawless performance. They'd abandoned the idea of dancing, focusing on the song alone, making it sound more like a ballad. The ring of applause reached Sakata and Uzuki, a sense of unity beyond idols, fans, or any other labels. But even this could not stop the crowd's exodus entirely. Half the audience was gone, and more were still leaving. Behind Sakata and Uzuki, people were still muttering, "So she never showed up? This is dumb, let's go." They turned and walked away. They weren't alone. Audience members who just happened to be here didn't care what Sweet Bullet was going through. They'd only stopped to watch because the girl from the commercial might show up. And if she wasn't, they were out of here. Plain and simple. "That's our reality," Uzuki whispered, but she spoke loud enough that he could hear. They all poured their hearts out, but that's not getting 10,000 hands clapping. Dang. 94%. We're almost there. If they at some point, if they make a season 2 or something like that for the anime, which I'm hoping for, and they end up, adapting the university arc stuff, this scene is gonna be really good. I'm very much so looking forward to when they adapt this scene. Them all singing and stuff, and then it starts raining, and they're all going crazy and stuff, and still, singing their hearts out and everything. While it's freaking pouring on top of them. I think that's gonna be such a freaking cool scene. And then once everything cuts off and stuff too, yeah, it's gonna be a really damn freaking good scene. I can't wait for them to do that. We need time to go faster. Alright, so next part here. So there were maybe 600 people left. They've got the power. Yeah, it was a good concert. Nothing rang false about that line. Then why hang around back here? Go on up. Uzuki's voice was working fine. She could sing too. I don't have the right. You're a member of Sweet Bullet, their leader, their center. I'm just like them. She clearly meant the people who'd scoffed and moved away. Sakata looked over his shoulder, but they were long gone. I've got that voice in me. Part of me's laughing at them for working so hard on a dream they'll never realize. And now that I know that, I can't go up there with them. She wasn't lamenting this or openly grieving, it was just a statement of fact. Her eyes were locked on the stage with only a hint of wistfulness. The previous day, when she'd asked the others if they could make it to the Budokan, she'd almost certainly used this tone of voice, distant, objectively assessing their reality. This was the only way she could address it. Sakata glanced at her profile, and she looked lost. They laughed at me too. She learned the truth that day. If that had been all there was to it, Uzuki wouldn't be here, staring up at the stage. There was something else she'd noticed. She'd understood why people had laughed at her, because she'd learned to read the room. She'd learned to recognize sarcasm and spite, and found herself divided between what she said and what she meant, mocking others behind their backs. But what of it? That was just what people do. Everyone feels like that. Everyone does it. So Toyohama gets it. She knows she's an unsuccessful idol, and she's well aware that people make fun of her for it. But she was still up there on stage, singing her heart out. I bet the others do too. And they kept singing. They know that at this rate, they'll never make it to the Budokan. They know the deal. So what? Uzuki's voice shook. Are you seriously asking that? This one's so easy, even I can figure it out. He knew Uzuki got it. She'd spent enough time with the others, worked as hard as they had, been on the same stages. No matter how small their crowds, no matter how many people passed them by, they'd all put in the work together. He figured she knew better than anyone. She should have known it in her bones. Nobody knew how those girls on stage felt better than Uzuki herself. What am I supposed to do? The song was entering the second chorus. There wasn't much left. Read the room, Uzuki. That was all Sakata could really say. Uzuki's head went up, and she looked at him, faintly surprised. Tears welled up, but she quickly wiped them away and turned back to the stage. That was the Uzuki Hirokawa he knew. She threw back the hood, tossed him her baseball cap, let her long hair spill down her back. The second chorus was already over. The audience was clapping out the vocalless interlude, and Sweet Bullet was humming over it. Before the final chorus was the bridge, which was always Uzuki's solo. Even in the real version, this was a quiet beat, accompanied only by a piano. Fans who knew Sweet Bullet's music knew to stop clapping just before the bridge began. It was so they could focus on her voice. A hush fell. The rain wept. Uzuki took a breath and her voice rang out. Every eye in the place swung around and found her in the crowd. The girls on stage were looking their way at Uzuki. She took a step forward, then another, without anyone saying a word. The crowd before the stage parted, forming an aisle for her. Uzuki strode down the center of it, singing and dancing. As the bridge ended, she was right below the stage itself. "Zuki!" 4 voices cried together. "Zuki!" the crowd called in response. "Come on," Yai yelled, and they put their hands together and pulled her up on stage. A ray of light pierced through the clouds like a ladder rolling down from above. It lit the sea, the crowd, and the stage like a spotlight from heaven. There was a screech and the speakers came back on. Everyone realized the power was live again. Someone handed Uzuki a spare mic and all 5 gathered at the center of the stage before they sang out the final chorus together. The fans cheered, a standing ovation. In the center of that jubilation, Sweet Bullet shed tears and they smiled. Dang. The last chapter. Congratulations. Okay. Alright, so we're on the last chapter here. So the sky soared far above. The air was as clear as it could be, lighter than blue, but too vivid to call pale. The moon hung there, shaped like a rugby ball. Sakata was gazing up at it, laughing. It looked so fake. He was on the road between Kanazawa Hakai and the main gates of campus. Patches of other students were all around. The day after the outdoor concert, which had been plagued by rain and technical issues, since that had been a Sunday, today was inevitably Monday. And of course, classes were held like normal. No matter what happened off campus, the college grind went on. He passed through the gate, stifling a yawn. The student in front of him didn't even bother. This was pre-first period, so everyone was headed farther in. It wasn't even 9 yet. No one had reason to believe or to be leaving campus, and yet when Sakata looked down at the Ginkgo path, he saw someone walking his way. A friend of his, Uzuki. She spotted him and came over. When they met, they stopped in the middle of the path and the athletic field to one side. "Uzuki, you leaving already?" First period hadn't even begun. Why had she even shown up? "I stopped by the student affairs office and dropped off my withdrawal." That was sudden. He wasn't sure what to say. It took his brain a moment to process what withdrawal even meant here. You don't waste time. That felt in line with her character, though, and he could guess why. At the end of the previous day's concert, Uzuki had made 2 announcements, both to the fans and to the members of Sweet Bullet. First, that the rumors were true. She'd been offered a solo career and accepted it? No way. But she was. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought she I just need to read the very next line. I was like, there's no way she's leaving them like that. Damn. All right. But she wasn't leaving Sweet Bullet. She was gonna do both. And second, I'm gonna take everyone to the Budokan. An even bolder claim. So all of our fans, Nadaga, Yai, Ranko, and Hotaru, everyone, do your part. Take me to the Budokan. Not the most orthodox way to wrap things up, but hearing it made everyone in Sweet Bullet come in for a group hug, and the crowd went wild. Not reading the room at all, Uzuki called for an encore, and the other girls gaped at her, but someone on staff took pity on them and started another song, so the 5 of them got to perform one final number together. The concert wound up by being a big success. The a cappella third number during the power outage particularly made waves. Recordings of it were up on the internet, and Uzuki's dramatic entrance had earned them a whole slew of new fans. Kaede had been watching it on a loop since she got home. No lingering attachments here? You asked me once. Why I chose statistical science. Oh yeah, I did. During their jaunt around Misakiguchi as a gift to the departed, I'll let you know. I think you mean parting gift. He had not yet shuffled off this mortal coil. I thought I might figure it out if I came here. Figure what out? Who everyone is. He reacted with silence, but he'd been thinking the same thing, and I thought knowing that would help me understand the girls better. She grinned sheepishly, and that proved she meant it. She'd never been able to read the room and never quite fit in, even in Sweet Bullet. They'd accepted her despite that, but she wanted to understand them better. even if she could, to really get what Nadaka and the other girls were going through. She'd known her happiness wasn't something everyone decided, but the other members, but something she made for herself. But that just made her want to know how the other members defined it. Naturally, it was all tied up in the hope that understanding better would make them even closer. And as a means to that end, Uzuki had tried to learn more about everyone, to become part of the crowd. And her goals had aligned with those who resented her for being somebody and wanted to make her just another college girl. The result, Uzuki had started to share her sensibilities, dress like they did, have fun talking about the same things. She'd begun reading the room. To Sakata's mind, that was the true nature of the adolescent syndrome here. Ryo might have found a better way to explain it, but this was good enough for him. He didn't need to tackle the ongoing phenomenon, only his friend Uzuki Hirokawa. I bet you had a similar reason, for picking statistical science. You knew what I meant. But you're playing dumb. Uzuki grinned, reading him well. Like I said, I just picked the major that seemed the easiest to get into. Well, I decided to let you study for both of us. If you figure anything out, let me know. Did you even listen to me? I ignored it on purpose. She flashed him a broad grin, then got serious. I'm glad I got to talk to you one last time, Sakata. A witty repartee is always fun. Exactly. Uzuki glanced down at her phone. She was probably keeping an eye on the time. You got work? Yeah, I gotta run. She held out her hand. Oh, Uzuki, he said, taking her hand. A parting handshake. She smiled, waiting for him to finish. He didn't have the rest ready. He'd only just learned she was leaving school, but his feelings took shape all on their own and spilled right out. Congrats on graduating. Oh, that's sad. Dang. That sucks. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna see her again in the future and stuff, go to concerts and stuff for them, whether it be solo or their group Sweet Bullet concerts, when he sees Nadaka possibly. But still sad that she's leaving, but pretty, I'd say, on brand for her, because, I thought it was weird right from the get-go that she was even there in college. I was like, there's no way. Why is she here? Yeah, it was just a little bit of a different type of change for Uzuki. I just didn't think that she would go there after everything that happened with her in high school and stuff, and her going to that primarily online school and then deciding to go to college. I thought it was a little weird. Alright, so it says, if college was time spent prepping for life in the world at large, then Uzuki was ready to go on her way, a little faster than the rest, but embarking on a path she'd chosen. For a moment she just blinked at him, then she giggled and looked pleased. Her hand gripped his. She smiled once more, then said, I really gotta go, and raced off toward the gate. The students flooding in saw her going out. They were all dressed like typical college kids again today. Same hair, same backpacks, same makeup, same purses, talking about the same things, checking the same sites on their phones, listening to the same music on their earphones. Uzuki could drop out, but that wouldn't change. This was their normal, and Uzuki saw them looking at her. She saw and didn't let it bother her. She just kept going full tilt out the gates. A few steps off campus, she suddenly hit the brakes like she'd remembered something. She spun back to look at Sakata. Bye-bye, Sakata, she cried, jumping up and down and waving both hands. This Uzuki couldn't read the room, but this wasn't a regression. She was undeniably different from her old self. Damn, that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, going back to her, if the adolescent syndrome was like solved or whatever, resolved, and she like just goes back to her kind of like bubbly ditzy self, but likable self, then it would kind of be like she was regressing, like taking steps backwards and not actually, being able to read the room. Being able to read the room is beneficial to yourself. So her going back to her old self and not being able to read the room would be, kind of like going a step backwards from where she's at right now. So that's exactly what I was talking about when I was like, her being different now, where she actually did change. She's like her very bubbly, like happy self, but she could also read the room, and she has that kind of awareness about other people and stuff in her environment now, which is really cool to see. Dang. Alright, so she learned how things went. She knew that people laughed at her. She discovered a part of herself that was willing to laugh at others, but she would no longer pick up on that in real time. She didn't notice the students passing her and laughing. didn't hear them scoffing, so cringe, or it's too early. She just kept waving happily, waiting for Sakata to respond, so he waved back just as dramatically. That earned him some appalled looks, but he didn't care. Uzuki yelled bye-bye again with a thoroughly satisfied grin. That smile mattered far more to him. She ran off toward the station, no longer lost. He watched her go, not taking a step until she was out of sight. It took all of 3 seconds, and when the fourth second rolled around, a girl's voice came from his side. "Aw, such a shame." And after I let her read the room. Wait, what? And after I let her read the room. There was a woman standing next to him. She looked to be around 20. She wore red, but not your typical red. She dressed like, what? No way. Is that Toko Kirishima? What the fuck? No way. I was gonna say, like, she's just some random girl and she's saying this. What the heck? Yeah, and the Santa Claus thing, I don't think it's Toko Kirishima because of the Santa Claus outfit that she has on, and we know that she's on the cover of Volume 13, and she's the focus of Volume 13. What the fuck? Damn. All right, I gotta go, or I gotta keep going. All right, so she was dressed like Santa Claus, a miniskirt version with black tights beneath. Sakata blinked at her a few times, and she caught him looking. She scanned their surroundings like she was checking something. Sakata followed her gaze. "I'm impressed," she said, putting her hand to her lips, a phony gesture. "You can see me." A cute face, cutesy body language. The clock showed 8:45. 5 minutes till first period began. The students headed down the grove were in a hurry. There must have been 50 or 60 around, but none of them showed any interest in the mystery Santa. That miniskirt should have been impossible to miss. It didn't seem like they were pretending not to notice either. They couldn't see her at all. "I thought you might, Asasagawa. Who are you again?" He didn't know any Santas. "Don't worry, this is the first time we've met. I have only worries." She clearly knew him, but if only he could see her, how was he supposed to relax? "But you do know about me." "Not that I'm aware of." "Oh?" The miniskirt Santa's grin got downright mean. "I'm Toko Kirishima," she said. He did know that name. Fuck. God damn it. Why'd they end it off there? I swear they always end off on like crazy cliffhangers or what for this light novel at the end of the stories. Damn. I can't. Do they talk about? I'm assuming they. I don't know. Like they talk about her a lot more in volume 11, but man, that's crazy. All right, so this is the afterward part where the author kind of puts his thoughts out there and thanks people and stuff. Kind of. So it says the college arc begins. First a TV series, then a movie. The Rascal series has had help from so many people and has grown up and big and strong. I'm grateful to all the readers who've lent it their power. I'm deeply indebted to my editors, Kurokawa, Yoshida, and Kurosaki during the writing of this volume. Once again, I must thank readers who stuck with me to the end. She'll be in the limelight next time. Look forward to it. What? Hold on. I must thank readers who stuck with me to the end. She'll be in the limelight next time. Look forward to it. Okay, so I'm assuming he's talking about... Wait. I don't know. Yeah, I'm like kind of like frazzled right now at what happened with the Toko Kirishima thing. Damn. Okay. It says she'll be in the limelight next time. So that's what I was thinking. It's like that's Toko Kirishima. So is that saying like she's gonna be a lot more like prevalent in volume 11, or is he talking about like Uzuki Hirokawa or something like that? Like she's gonna be in the limelight or something like that again, or whatever because she's idol singer and going solo and all that stuff. But fuck, I'm assuming it's Toko Kirishima. Damn, god damn it. Yeah, I don't know how many volumes there's gonna be. I'm wondering the same because for whatever reason I feel like this series is coming closer and closer to an end, especially with the Toko Kirishima thing because they first mentioned Toko Kirishima like in volume 8, which is like I'd say the start of the new kind of like saga of the Rascal Does Not Dream series, and they've been hinting at her more and more ever since volume 8, and now in volume 13 that's going to be the light novel that focuses directly on Toko Kirishima. So I'm like maybe it's going to be ending soon. I'm hoping it doesn't, but because we love the series and we just want to keep seeing more of it. But I don't know. I feel like it might be ending soon, especially for certain things that I kind of heard about before. Like with Volume 11, there's something that caught me on, or at least that tipped me off to like, oh, like if something like that's happening, this series might be getting a little crazy and might be at like a climax, or I don't know, something like that. And it might be getting close to the end. But damn, that was really good. The ending was great. Definitely was. I want to see this animated so bad. Damn it. That'd be, man, when that happens, it's gonna be so good. Like the whole singing part with the Sweet Bullet and then Uzuki, like joining in and stuff like that. I don't know, just her kind of realizing like it's the right move to just go up on stage and stuff, and then her like just quitting school, just dropping out of college. It's not for her, and then finding out the reason why she was going to school too is to try to understand her fellow like group members and stuff, idol members better. I was like, there's got to be a reason behind why she went, and it's not just because she just wants to go to school, because it was just totally like kind of off brand for her. It just wasn't the type of thing that she seemed like she would do, especially with the kind of blending in with everybody and stuff and talking to those girls and just trying to like, I don't know, just acting like them, dressing like them, and all that stuff. Like I knew there was something up about it. She didn't go there just because she wanted to go to school, and glad to hear that it was for a reason like that. She wanted to understand her friends more, and yeah, I'm glad it helped her and made her realize like this isn't for me anymore. Like she understands them now, but like school is like college isn't for me. I'm quitting and then doing her her work, her solo career stuff and Sweet Bullet things. Damn. I know, man. It's gonna be great once we get that, Vic. Damn. Oh, you didn't know that there was a 13th volume? Yeah, man. It has, yeah, it's focused on Toko Kirishima. Has the like the light novel cover of her like in the Santa outfit and stuff. Man, I like flipped out at that at that moment. As soon as she like came up and said what she said, I was like, I was like, that's weird. Like, who would say that? Like, someone's letting her read the room. Is she like? Oh man, I want to like theorize like everything. Like that's what's going on. So is she like? Damn. So what I'm thinking she is, because what based on what she said, damn it, I'm trying to freaking remember. I'm like freaking super frazzled right now. But she said, I'm the one that let her read the room. So is this Toko Kirishima girl like the person or like some sort of like being or whatever that kind of like caused for the adolescent syndrome, or that is causing for adolescent syndromes, not just hers but possibly for like everybody's that ends up happening at some point. Like maybe that's why she's like dressed in a Santa outfit or something like that. Like she's kind of some mystical kind of person or something that's able to change things. I guess you could call Santa maybe mystical at some point, or something along those lines. But the way she said that makes me think that she's, she, like she says, I'm the one that let her read the room. I gotta go back and freaking read that part. Damn it. Where is it at? Where is it at? She said, okay, yeah, she said, "Ah, such a shame." And after I let her read the room. So like she said, like she let her read the room. So maybe she's some type of being or some person or whatever that gave her that adolescent syndrome, or like casted that adolescent syndrome kind of situation or problem or whatever it may have been onto Uzuki, and possibly she's the one that's done it to like multiple characters, the ones that we've all seen have adolescent stuff happen to them, like to Sakata, to Shoko, to all of the my Sakurajima when that happened too, because it's kind of like almost the same thing of what happened to Mai is kind of what's going on with her. Like nobody can see her but Sakata right now. And that's kind of what happened with my Sakurajima. Gradually, it ended up being like that, where everybody or nobody could see my Sakurajima except for Sakata at that one point until he ended up falling asleep or whatever, and then her existence was kind of like gone at that point. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of might what be going on with Toko Kirishima. Maybe I'm way off base, but I don't know. It's just really cool, and the thing that she said right there really like struck me as maybe that's what's going on. But damn, that's crazy. What do y'all think about it so far? For anybody that's in here and that's read the light novel, like, does anybody like? Do you guys think the same, or what are your kind of thoughts on that? Toko stresses me out, for real. I know it stresses me out, but it gets me really freaking excited when I hear about her. I don't think I've ever felt like excitement about a character in the Rascal Does Not Dream series than I felt excitement about when I hear about Toko Kirishima, just because she's such a mystery and just like how they've kind of built her up to be and everything. So like hearing about her and kind of finally having Sakata come face to face with her is fucking nuts, and I'm here for it. I want to see it. Damn, that's crazy. Oh, all right, my bad. I'm scrolling through this really quick because I wanted to show Vic, if you haven't seen already, the Toko Kirishima light novel cover. If you haven't seen it, I know I posted it in the community tab a little bit back, but here it is. This is it right here. See if you could see this hopefully a little bit better. And that's freaking dope too. It has the advertisement here of the actual like the movie for the Knapsack Kid, which is really cool. Damn it. I knew she wants to, or I knew she came up in the 11th light novel in some way. I thought initially that Toko Kirishima was the person on the cover of volume 11, but that's not true. That's Ikumi Akagi, and then this is Toko Kirishima here. Yeah, volume 12 is Sara Himeji. Yeah, volume 13 is Toko. Sara Himeji is volume 12. Oh man, I need to get I think this comes out on the 7th. I think July 7th. So I gotta see if I can like pre-order this on Amazon Japan or something, so I can get the little book for it. Damn. Even though I can't read it, I still want to get the book for it just to collect it, because I want to collect all of them. They're freaking cool. I know, man. It looks nice. She looks freaking gorgeous. One of the most beautiful girls and women in the Rascal Does Not Dream series. Looks great. Can't wait till it comes out in English. Slowly but surely we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Maybe next year. I'm assuming we'll get that at some point, because volume 12, the English version, is coming out in this upcoming November. So hoping that this comes out in like maybe like February, March. I'm assuming maybe like March or April or something like that. And hopefully by that time we get maybe word on like a volume 14 or something like that at some point, but we'll see what happens. Damn. Yeah, definitely need to collect. Yeah, the English version for volume 12 comes out on November 20th, but I think it's on November 20th, but I know it's in November for sure. Let me see. Yen Press. Yeah, I know, man. Like, so much to look forward to. Let's go. Let me see. Let me go to it really quick so I can see. Rascal. Yeah, so volume 12. So it comes out on... Where is it? Am I missing it? Oh yeah, November 21st. Okay. I don't know how I didn't see that first. But yeah, November 21st is when it comes out, which is freaking dope. So we get like volume 12 right after, like, or like pretty soon. Kind of ish soon or whatever. It's before the end of the year, and it's crazy, like I said, that we're even getting these light novels this deep into it in English. I'm surprised that they're putting this out, since as of right now volume 12 is the latest volume in Japan right now that's actually out until volume 13 actually releases next month. So I'm like super surprised that they're that they even have that they're even releasing this in English this soon. But yeah, I don't know, some crazy stuff. I'm having my eyes peeled for like maybe a volume 14 in the future or something like that. But I can't wait to read. I gotta read volume 11. I'm getting way too ahead of myself, but man, still a bunch of cool stuff to freaking pander over. Yeah, marking my calendar, right? Damn. Been learning Japanese too, but I don't know enough to read a light novel. I know I fell off on reading on like trying to learn Japanese. I know I was doing good for a little while, and then I just kind of fell off of it. I need to get back on it though. I've been meaning to. I've been having that set as like one of my goals for this year is to progress a little bit more with my Japanese reading. So at some point, I can just read the light novel like that, the Japanese version. But man, it was good stuff. For anybody that's read Volume 10 so far, Vic, I'm assuming you have since you've already read Volume 11. Um, and Alan, have you read Volume 10 yet? I know you said you didn't read Volume 11 yet. And Braun, yeah, how did you guys all feel about the ending of Volume 10 here with Uzuki, Toku Kirishima coming up at the end of it? How far did I get with learning Japanese? I can't even remember. It's been a little bit of a while. I think I was getting into. I think maybe I don't know. I got kind of deepish or somewhat deepish into the learning of like the differences. I believe was like katakana and what was the other one? I think I can't remember the other type of like lettering or whatever it is for it. There's hiragana and katakana, I believe it is something like that. Yeah, I got somewhat deep-ish until that part, but I can't remember some of it right now. But I gotta jump back into it. Things like this, like the light novels in Japanese coming out, are motivation for me to try to learn some more Japanese. Damn, it's crazy. Oh, there's something I do want to show too. I got something at an anime convent or at a comic book convention that's really cool. It's a Rascal Does Not Dream thing. I was gonna show this in a video that I was gonna edit pretty soon too, and I'll still show it in that video. But I still wanted to show this because it's really cool. I'll just show it on stream just as like a little sneak peek of it. But I got a Rio Futaba freaking Rio Futaba in a Mai Sakurajima big old thing. Like it's a desk mat. That's what it is. I was trying to freaking remember the name for it. Yeah, so a big old desk mat of Rio Futaba. So I'm hoping you guys can see that a little bit, maybe. Oh wait, that's a little bit better, I think. Yeah, let me know if you guys could see that. Oh yeah, hiragana, katakana, and kanji. That's what it was. I don't know why I forgot kanji because that's like the thing that I hear the most of with Japanese like writing and stuff. Damn. But yeah, I got this big old freaking Rio Futaba desk mat, and I got a Mai Sakurajima one too. Yeah, and I gotta show that stuff in a video that I was gonna make because I got a bunch of stuff recently. Let me get this thing. So this is the Mai Sakurajima one, which is freaking great. It's amazing. Let me show this one here. All right. So this is the Mai Sakurajima one. Hold on. Let me scooch back a little. Yeah, this is. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. Yeah, this one's a great one. This is my favorite one. I was surprised I saw this stuff there. They had so much cool stuff at the convention that I did go to. Probably because I haven't been to a convention in a little while, and there was just so much stuff that I just wanted to get. But man, it was dope. I was surprised when I got this. They even gave me like some little like thank you present like gifts too or whatever. They gave me like a free beanie, and their bag that they gave me too that carried in was cool. But yeah, this was some dope stuff that I got there on top of some other things too. But yeah, let me check the chat. Rio Futaba. Best girl for me, of course, is Mai Sakurajima, but Rio Futaba is second for sure. She's one of the best ones in the show. Yeah, I know, right? That was me when I was there. I was like, I gotta stop myself. There's too many things here, and even though I like ended up spending a crap ton when I was there, but still, yeah, there was so much stuff there. A lot of bunny girl senpai stuff. A lot of just a bunch of different things. They had a bunch of Chainsaw Man things, whatever. There was a ton of stuff. But I was glad I was able to find those and pick those up. It was on like a huge wall that I almost missed. But alright. Before I do end up hopping off and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple more packs of these cards really quick. See if I can get anything good. I think I might have already gotten a couple of... yeah, I got a Rio Futaba, the back from shopping stuff. I got the Memories That Remain, a Shoko card. So I got a couple of these, and I'm hoping I can get a really good one. Oh, I think I see a shiny one in the back. Hold on. Okay, so I got this Mai Sakurajima one again. There's a duplicate. We got a Unconditional Support, Shoko Makinahara. This is a cute one too from her. We got a Koga Tomoe. Oh, her and her the like yukata or whatever kimono that she was wearing at one point. So this one's nice. And then we got, what else? Oh, we got a Nadaka, so Sisterly Thoughts, Nadaka Toyohama. I can't remember if I got this one. I think this might be a duplicate too. What do you tell your guests? See, wait, what? What do you tell your guests when they see my collection? I don't know. Not many people have seen it. Like, I've had a couple of... I'm trying to think on who's actually seen it. I think like two of my friends have seen it. Like my girlfriend's seen it before, of course, because she lives with me. And then two of my friends have seen it. And then I think one of my cousins has seen it before too. But like very, very like briefly they saw it and they were like, what the hell is that? Like they looked in my room and they were like, they kind of like freaked out for a second because they were like, that's so much stuff. But I was just, and they're like, that's your room? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's like half embarrassed but half like yeah. I guess, like, what could I tell them? I just love this stuff, so yeah. All right. But yeah, if somebody else comes in here, I don't know what to tell them. I'll just be like, yeah, I just like anime and manga and stuff a bunch. All right, so there's this one here. It's a kind of holographic one. You can like barely see it if you tilt it in certain spots. But this is a talented individual, Mai Sakurajima. There's a kissing scene too. This is a cute little Mai Sakurajima one. Yeah, I know. Nothing to be embarrassed about. It's mostly for like I don't know, it's like for the people that don't watch anime, like maybe like my family members or something like that. I don't know. And they're like, what in the hell do you have all around your room? But like you said, nothing to be embarrassed about, so yeah. Oh yeah, it's a Sister Panic. You got that one already. So that's a duplicate. Let's go ahead and do another one real quick. See if we can get a real good one. Worth every penny, right? But for anime, it's like for sports room, but for anime, exactly. Yeah, that's true. It's like you guys like your sports. I mean, I like sports too, but you see how those people go all out for their sports, like man cave rooms or whatever. And I'm like, this is my weeb room. Like, admire the greatness, right? All right, so here's a Secret of Lost Memories, Nadaka Toyohama. That's a. I can't remember I feel like I've gotten so many like Nadaka Toyohama ones, and they all look kind of the same. So I'm like, I feel like I got a duplicate with that one too, like almost every time. Okay, so I got a duplicate with this one. This is the Lost Sakata Hazasagawa. And then we got a cute. Oh yeah, we got another. I'm getting like so many duplicates. What is going on? I got this one from Rio Futaba. This is a duplicate. I got another duplicate Kaide here. 2. I got another one. This what? Yeah, I got another one. So Feelings That Bind. Another duplicate Sakata one. No way, you showed your mom my dress up, darling. I'm like, what did she say? what was her reaction to it? Because I know my dress up, darling. You know, it's I personally love my dress up, darling, but the it's very fan servicey in some parts. Yeah, these are better than Pokemon packs. Ooh, this one that I see here is really cute. So this is another duplicate Koga one here too. But this one's nice. This is a holographic, very cute picture of Koga here. So this one's nice. It's like almost in like a light novel style of kind of like drawing or whatever. It's not like a scene from the anime. This is like a light novel picture here style for, Koga. I'll try to tilt it a little bit so you might be able to see the little shiny parts of it. Yeah, this one's a nice one. This is probably one of my favorites. Ooh, this one's one of my favorites too. Or this one's a good one. It's a nice little like scene from the opening of Rio Futaba there. That one's cute. All right. So we didn't come up empty-handed, at least in that pack. We got a couple good ones. We got the Rio Futaba one I just showed, and then we got that Koga one. That Koga one's really nice. All right, I'm gonna open probably one or two more. She had minimal reaction, to be honest. Dress Up Darling. Did she watch the whole thing, or did you only show her like certain parts of it? I can't imagine showing any. I couldn't imagine showing my mom my Dress Up Darling, but I would probably show it to like some other random people that I know that don't like anime or that aren't super into anime. I don't know. It wouldn't be like on that level of uncomfortable. Okay, so here's another duplicate. I got a Rio Futaba here. And then we got Roundabout Solution, Sakata Azasagawa. So I'm bored and I thought to spend some leisurely time with you. So here's a Sakata one. And I think this is my third Nadaka, Secret of Lost Memories Toyohama? I don't know. It's either I know it's a duplicate though. I just got that. And then we got My Sakurajima, Secret of Lost Memories. What's going on, she says. This one's a cute one here. Then we got a Together with Hayate, Shoko Makinohara. There. Were you a good cat, Hayate? So little Shoko here. Ooh, I think I got another good one. Let's go. Only a minimal reaction. I'm surprised. Like if you genuinely showed her some of those fan servicey scenes of her shaking her boobs around and all that stuff, and them showing those angles or whatever that they show in My Dress Up Darling of her in that one scene where she's in the bikini and stuff. I could only imagine. Okay, so panda pajamas. Why don't you try it on? This is just a little picture of Kaide's panda pajamas. A little weird. I thought it was gonna be a picture of her or of Kaede herself. Ooh, these are two good ones here. So we got another couple good Koga ones. So Clear Blue Skies, Tomoe Koga. This one's nice picture of Koga, and it's a shiny one as well. So this one I'll try to tilt a little. Yeah, this is a good one here. And then we got another Koga one. This one I like a lot because it's one of those sideway picture-esque ones with a nice picture of Koga as well. Yeah, she looks a little different in this one. It's one of those nicer drawn or nicer animated scenes. Yeah, so this one looks really good. Damn. You gotta chill. I know. I want to show random people I don't know, just different anime scenes from maybe not like super fan servicey like that, but just like random, like over the top anime scenes. You know how they get like real dramatic in certain anime and stuff. So maybe like that, or just maybe like different comedic scenes that they have in anime. But and see, because you know how like anime and comedy anime, they have like certain types of humor that usually hit because maybe like as an anime fan you know it, or it's like common humor in Japanese culture or whatever. I want to see if it like hits for like normal people, or I mean just people in the US or something like that, people that don't watch anime. Is it still funny to them or whatever it may be? Oh yeah, exactly. Like Kaguya-sama. That's exactly like what I was thinking when it came to like those comedy anime. Because I know Kaguya-sama is just chock full of a bunch of comedy. So I'm like, I want to show somebody Kaguya-sama, all the wacky stuff that happens in that, and see their reaction to it. See if they like it, or if they're just like, what the hell are they talking about? Like this is weird. That's her in. Oh, that's her in the outro. Okay, yeah, that's. I knew I've seen it somewhere, but yeah, it's a really nice picture. That Koga one right here. Kohai is best character. I miss Koga. Like the fact that we don't see her as often, kind of sucks. But I don't know. Maybe she'll become more prevalent in the future. But yeah, she's one of my favorite characters. There's always funny moments with her, with Sakata and her and their little banter that they got going. Not sure the panda the panda pajamas. I know, giving me PTSD for missing Panda Kaede. Yeah, a lot of rom coms are non-sexual at all. I can't even say that. I know, right? Oda Gaidu, right? Exactly. Took them so long just to say that, just to confess. Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Rascal clickbaits with waifus. True. Alright, so you can read minds or something. So here's another Koga. Another Kohai picture. And then we got My Sakajima Complex Feelings, My Sakajima. I wish you told us a bit earlier. Which one is this? I can't remember which one this one is. That's not from the Dreaming Girl movie, because this is Bunny Girl Senpai, not the Dreaming Girl cards. I'm trying to remember where that's from. We got another Home Visit Shokomaki Nohara. Good morning, Sakata-san. I don't think I got this one. Yeah, I know I got one of Little Shoko, but not this one, I don't think. Then we got a duplicate Sakata here. And then we got a Secret Treasure. I got this one earlier too. So this is another duplicate. And then we got a Kunimi. This is our first Kunimi card. So Basketball Club Kunimi. Kunimi Yuma. Finally got a Kunimi card. It's cool. Then we got. I wonder if they have any of the other characters. Like, whoa, shit. Sorry, I got distracted. I got a good one. I got a real good one. Oh, I got two good ones. Dang. I feel like they like organize it in a way to like the last two cards that are like in the back of the stack are the very good ones, just like that Koga one that we got, where it was a nice Koga like holographic or shiny one, and then behind it was that one sideways one with her in the opening. But here is it's My Sakajima. Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm gonna turn it around right now. So I'm surprised you can still see me. So Bunny Girl Senpai, the actual Bunny Girl Senpai My Sakajima card. So this one, beautiful, amazing one. Damn. I'm surprised it took that long to get this one, but definitely one of the top tier cards that we've gotten so far, and it's a shiny too. Love it. Sakata does dream of his senpai. Okay, and then this is the Blue-Filled Vision. Did you know? So this is Shoko. I don't know if I got this one. I feel like I did. I recognize the Blue-Filled Vision, like little title on it. So maybe I did get it. Yeah, I know. That's a hit. It's a must. My Sakurajima. I don't know how many cards or how many packs I got. Whoa! Oh, hold on. Ooh, I didn't even see this. Hold on. So there's like the box right here that I have. And it's this is how it's laid out. Like all the card packs are just stacked like that. And I like grabbed it right now and saw in the very back of it, like in this like back hole right here, there's another like extra card here that was like out and not in a pack. So it's like a special one. So it says SD My Sakurajima. As expected of you, Sakata, you're such a rascal. So this is a cute little like chibi My Sakurajima here. So hopefully you guys can see this. Pull it back a little, hopefully. Yeah, this was a little hidden gem stuck in the back of the box. I didn't even see that at first. I've been pulling them all out and I didn't even see any of those. Damn. Yeah, that one's really cute. Love that. And it's all like it's in its own like little pack too, so I kind of don't want to take it out of the pack. But I might though. We'll see. But let me see, how many cards do I have? Card packs do I have left? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So I'm gonna do I kind of want to do 2 more. And then I might do like the other 10 or something like that in another stream, or like in another, maybe when I do the volume 11 like read through or something. Yeah, Shiny Mai. Yeah, the Chibi freebie. Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 more, and then I'll be done with doing all of them. I'll save the other ones for when I do like the volume 11 read through stream or something. Okay. But we're going through a lot of these. We went through like half of them already. We're almost done with opening up 10 packs. All right, so this is another duplicate of the home visit Shokomaki no Hara. We got Fluffy Breakfast. We got this one already. Excuse me. Of Kaede. Then we got Unconditional Support. I believe, yeah, this is a duplicate we got of Shoko. I'm hoping we get some good ones at the end again. That's usually where we're finding the bangers at. All right, so Big Brother, yeah, we got this one too. So sad Kaede moments, no. This sucks. Reminded me of the bad things. All right, press interview, Mai Sakurajima. I would ask that you refrain from invading his privacy if possible. Yeah, so this is yeah, I don't think maybe I got this one. I can't remember if I did. But cute Mai Sakurajima one. Then we got Looping World. Okay, so this is a new one I haven't gotten yet. They got their own little Google like knockoff version. So Dougal here. It says Futaba. So the 7 billion people in the human race, including me, doesn't think today is the 3rd iteration. So this is the Looping World one where, yeah, with Koga, where things were looping day after day or whatever for Sakata. That one. Oh, okay. So we got a good like Nautica one. So this is one kind of like that Rio Futaba one that we got, where it's like it's like standalone picture, and it's just, you know, like a colorful background or whatever. So this one, it says, all you need to think about is Big Sister, schooling high school idol, Naduka Toyohama. So yeah, so we got this one. It's a shiny too. So we got a shiny of Naduka. We got a shiny of Mai Sakurajima. We got a shiny Rio. We got a, I'm trying to think what, we got a shiny Shoko Makinohara, I believe too. I think we just don't have oh yeah, I think, yeah, we got a shiny Koga, I believe too. But I want to get like all the versions of them that have like the Naduka and the Rio Futaba look, where it's just like a colorful background and it's not like and it's a holographic one, but it's not a scene from like the anime. It's just like its own character picture, kind of like that. Those ones are cool. All right, so we got another one here. So together with Nasuno, so a little picture of Kaede. So Kaede with Nasuno the cat. I always forget in volume 8 for the light novel that Nasuno's like there at Kaede's feet. I always forget that she's there. It's like so, it like blends in with like the colors of Nasuno kind of like blend in with the background, but it's really cute though if you when you do notice Nasuno there with her. All right, this last pack, come on, we got to get something good off the last pack. I remember the last time I did this, I struck gold with the last pack. I ended up getting something really good. All right, let's hope that happens here with this one. My desk is just riddled with just random wrappers. Okay, so visiting the sick Tomoe Koga. It's against school rules to leave campus during class. So this is Koga one. I don't think I have this one yet. So good stuff. We got a new Koga. And then we got a Ryo Futaba study session. Oh yes, thank you, it says. Movie. Are you gonna get a binder or anything? But I kind of want, now that I'm thinking about it, I have a bunch of them, so I'm thinking maybe I should get a binder for them. I know I want to get a shiny Mai out of this one maybe. So which is sadder, the Kaide arc or the Dreaming Girl movie? Ooh, that's tough. I'd say that, yeah, I'd say the Dreaming Girl movie for me is sadder because it's Mai Sakurajima, the Mai Sakurajima, getting her or like getting or dying in that fashion that happened. That was a lot more sad to me that happened. But the Kaide stuff hit hard too, though. I mean, I still think the Dreaming Girl movie was sadder, but Kaide's arc is really sad. I hate it when Sakata cries. When Sakata cries, I cry. We all cry when Sakata cries because it rarely happens. Damn it! It's always something. It's always something rough too when he does end up crying. All right, let me see. We'll both hit like a truck. No, not wrong. In a van. No. Yeah, Panda Kaide traumatized you. I mean, I feel you though. That it did for me too. That stuff sucks. Okay, so we got this one. So study session, Ryo Futaba. I haven't gotten this one yet. Oh yes, thank you. It says. Yeah, so Ryo Futaba got a pretty good one here. And then we got a Shoko Honest Opinion Shoko Makinohara. Oh, I didn't mean anything by that. I feel like so many of the Shoko ones. I think I've gotten like three different Shoko ones that look almost the exact same as this, but it's like slightly different with like a slightly different phrase or something. Okay, we got another Mai, so complex feeling Mai. Mai Sakurajima, little cute pouty face. I think we already got that. Study Rio's fire. Yeah. Oh, I was wondering if I was gonna get one of this. Okay, not this one that I'm about to show, but the one after that. Okay, so scathing words, Ryo Futaba. I mean, if you said hi to me, it would only make my skin crawl. So her giving Sakata a little hard time, Ryo Futaba, and then this one. No way. Okay, I got a good one. We got a good one, boys. We got a good one. Not this one that I'm about to show, but the next one after that is a good one. So this one is, are you picking a fight, classmate Saki Kamisato? So this one I might just throw away right now. No, just kidding. I'll keep it, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. So we got a Saki Kamisato. All right, this one though, we got a good one. So this is a really cute Ryo Futaba one. It's not like a standalone picture, but it's a really cute one. This is, I feel like I'm getting worse and worse. Love's frustrations, Ryo Futaba. This is a little shiny version too. So Ryo Futaba just laying on the desk or whatever. She's having her little love frustrations about Kunimi, but it's a good one though. It's a nice, cute one, especially with the shiny too. It looks really nice. Yeah, so this one's a good one. Saki is underrated. I think she is a little bit to an extent too. Everybody's just like, even me, like right now, I just caught myself doing it where I was like, Saki's gonna go straight in the trash, or I don't know, like people just hate her. But I think she does. Like I've said it in a video before. I think I said it in my tier list video where I was like, Saki Kamisato isn't as bad. She's not completely bad. Like I still like the moment where she told Sakata about Ryo Futaba. Like she was the one that let him know, like, hey, your friend's doing some sketchy stuff or whatever that might get her into some trouble. Go check it out or whatever. So I thought that was a nice thing she did. And she's there's another moment too. I can't remember. I think she was like, she gave him some advice, or like she talked about her sister or something like that too at some point. So she's had some cooperating moments where she's not like just all bitchy or whatever it may be, or just all like freaking mean to Sakata in some way. All right, so here's the last one that I got here. Oh, I wish I got like the crying scene, but it says returning world, unreturned feelings. It's unfair to put it in that way. So this is the the Koga scene where she confesses to Sakata, lets him know that she loves him and stuff. But of course, Sakata turns her down, lets her know that Mai Sakurajima is the only one for him. But yeah, got some good ones there. In her own way, but it's her own. A lot of good Rio ones. Yeah, I know we did get some good Rio ones in these little packs that we got. Damn. She's a good girl for sure. Are you meaning Saki Kamisato? She sticks there for her BF2 in her own way, but it's her own. I'm assuming that she's like, Kunimi has those conversations with her and stuff, and I think there's a reason why Kunimi sticks around her. I want to see her, maybe like see her in the future, like in these. Now that they're all in college and stuff, and we know Kunimi's not in college, but he's like a firefighter or like in training for a firefighter. I wonder if Saki is still with Kunimi and how she looks and stuff like that. If she's maybe matured a little bit after it being a little bit of a while of us seeing her, that'll be cool. Bro, I know I gotta rewatch the freaking Rascal Does Not Dreams anime again. Damn it! There's so many good scenes, and every time I watch it, it's so good. Damn. Oh man, I know the anime did rob us in the Rio arc. People will find out too, if they read the third light novel, or if when they end up reading the manga, because I'm hoping they keep that scene in the manga. I think they do, but in the third arc for the anime is when we actually see Sakata and Mai Sakurajima kiss, like actual like lip to lip kiss, and not just a little kiss on the cheek or something like that. That's the first time that they ever show it. I think that's the only time they've ever shown them actually like kiss lips to lips like that. I don't think they've that they showed it in at the end of season 1, and I'm pretty sure they didn't, and they didn't kiss like that too in the Dreaming Girl movie. So that in that scene that they skipped, that's the only time they've ever kissed like that. They do keep it in the light novel, or I mean in the manga. Damn. Oh yeah, I think I've seen a picture of it. I can't wait till we get our hands on that Rio Futaba like manga freaking book, the big old one like that. That's gonna be freaking cool. That one finally is gonna come out in English in November too, on the same date, I think November 21st. But once we get that, that's gonna be freaking good. I wish I could. I wish I could stream reading the manga, but I can't because of like the manga panels and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I'd get hit with the copyright strike of doom real quick on that kind of stuff. It's simple with the light novels because it's just all words for the most part. A couple of pictures here and there, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, they never show them actually kissing in the show. Like every time it's always just a little kiss on the cheek or something random like that. It's never like a full, like actual, like proper kiss. So once we get to the manga side, I can't wait for that, just to see it. Damn. I know. That's why I'm like, I thought about it for a second on like reading the manga, like on a live stream or something, but I was like, nah, I don't want to risk that. I'll maybe try to stick to light novels or something like that. So it's a little easier, and I won't get copyright struck or something. Or maybe change it in some way to where it's not like, I don't know, make it in a transformative way to where they don't copyright strike me or something like that. I think I've seen some people do it in that way, but who knows? It's a little bit of a dangerous game. I'd probably just play it safe and not do that, but still, some good stuff there in the manga upcoming. But I think Kiss Not Kill. They're gonna animate them. Wait, what? I think they're gonna animate them kill in the. Oh, Kiss in Volume 9. I hope they do. That'll be nice. I can't remember if they actually did. I don't think they did. Did they? I don't think they kissed in Volume 9, like actual kiss. Maybe they do. I can't remember. I don't think they did though. I would have remembered that. But maybe they did. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure that they didn't though. But maybe that'd be a cool thing to add. Whenever they do anime adaptations, they don't always stick strictly to the books or to the light novels, and they can add things in too, which would be really cool if they added that. I'd love to see it. Definitely love to see it. Sweet. I think we opened up all of our cards that we got here. This is let me grab the other one really quick too. So this is our stack of cards that we got here. So pretty decent stack. This is 10 packs worth of cards that we got. Not bad, not bad. It's a lot of cards. Like someone, I think it was Vic that said it earlier, I need to get like one of those binders with the sleeves and stuff to put all my cards in. That'll be nice to get. I really do need that. Sweet. But yeah, I think that's where I'm probably gonna leave off the stream. Finish volume 10. Let's go. Let's get it. On to volume 9, or on to volume 11, I mean. Not volume 9. Volume 11. We're not going backwards. We're going forward with volume 11, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait. Everything that's happening. Toko Kirishima coming up, hopefully, and stuff like going forward. Ikumi Akagi is going to be a big thing in that light novel too, so that's going to be really cool to see her, because we've gotten little glimpses of her, but not like full on like focus on her. So it's going to be nice to see her a lot more in that one. Volume 11, I'm hoping to maybe do that stream, like maybe I'm not sure. I want to say next week, but I don't know if that'll be realistic. I'd say maybe in like 2 weeks or something like that. Because I gotta edit video for my volume 9 review, and I was gonna put that out, and then I need to record my volume 10 review and kind of gather my thoughts on that, and then record my volume 10 review now that I'm finally finished with it. And then after I'm done putting out those two, then I'll put out then I'll end up scheduling like the streaming and everything like that for volume 11, which will be cool. There's volume 11, then 12, then 13, then 14. Yup, I know. We just gotta keep going. I can't wait till 12 comes out. It makes me sad though that I'm like almost caught up now. Like I'm on the latest like volume 11 light novel, because it's been kind of nice. When I did my recent read-throughs of volume, or reread-throughs of volume 8, and then 9, and then I had 10 to read through now, and then I had 11 to look forward to too. But now once I read volume 11, then I'm gonna be stuck and be like, damn, I don't have any more to read. This sucks. Not until volume 12 comes out in November. That's gonna be a little bit of a wait, but yeah, that's gonna make me a little sad once I actually catch up and don't have any more to read. But yeah, like too much. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to with it. Like I said, Ikumi Akagi, Toko Kirishima, Sokka the Meeting Toko Kirishima, whatever happens with my Sokka Dejima. I've heard some things happen to her in the 11th light novel. Not sure exactly what it is, but I heard maybe scary things of some sort or something along those lines. Yeah, we got some good cards out of these packs that we opened up. Opened up half of the ones that I do have. I still have a good chunk of my Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl ones here too. That I'll probably use to open up in maybe like a future live stream or something like that too. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna wrap things up. I appreciate you all for coming through. Alan, I appreciate you. Vic, Braun, everybody that's come through, Average Enjoyer, everybody else that might have come through at some point throughout the stream. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody's names or anything like that. But yeah, I hope you all have a good one. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate anybody that's coming through and watching after, on the VOD and stuff like that too. For me so far, early before I do hop off, I'll answer your question, Alan, really quick. But the best volume for me, in my opinion, I think I'd probably say is I don't know. I think maybe I want to say the eighth or ninth one, something like that. I don't know. It's hard to think right now. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to say the 10th just yet, but yeah, I'd probably have to think about it. It's either 8th, 9th, or 10th, one of those three. Those ones have been really good and fresh in my memory right now. But yeah, I appreciate you all for hanging out. Like I said, you all have a great rest of the night. appreciate you guys for hanging, and I'll catch you all on the next stream. Keep tabs on the community tab. I'll make sure to, or community posts and stuff. I'll make sure to throw any updates in there on if I'm posting something, or if I'm scheduling the stream or something like that for a different time in the future for volume 11 or whatever other things might come up. But yeah, hope you all have a great one. Make sure to give the stream a like if you guys haven't already. I greatly appreciate it. And make sure to subscribe for people that haven't already subscribed, and hit that notification bell too to make sure you get notified for whenever I do go live like this, or end up putting up any videos or anything like that, or have any fun like that. But I do hope you all have a great rest of the day or night wherever you guys live, and I'll catch you all later. See ya.